Thanks, Jim. A compelling matchup of former #1 overall picks as Peyton Manning and the Colts face Drew Bledsoe and the New England Patriots. Hi, everyone. Kevin Harlan alongside Daryl Johnston. Last week in the win at Denver, Daryl, it was the New England offensive line, which was great. What about today?
They're going to have to be huge again today, Kevin. Early season injuries and a rotation problem created a situation where they weren't able to build the chemistry. They played great as a group last week. They're going to have to continue that.
All week long, you've been telling me you've been watching tape with Edgerrin James of the Colts, and you think his role is evolving on this team.
It really is. Last year, Bill Belichick didn't even have to worry about Edgerrin in the passing game. He's not going to have that luxury this year.
Colts and Patriots next on CBS.
Welcome to the following presentation of the National Football League from CBS Sports, home of Super Bowl 35.
The Indianapolis Colts, young, exciting, sensational, led by a trio of superstars. Peyton Manning, the AFC's top quarterback. Receiver Marvin Harrison on the field. And Edgerrin James, perhaps the most complete player in football. Back in Foxborough, let's send it downstairs to Beasley Reese.
All right, thanks a lot, Kevin. I spoke to Chris Slade, the starting linebacker for the Patriots. He said they've got to be patient while remaining aggressive against this high-finesse Indy offense. On Indy's side, I talked to Bill Polian, the genius behind Indy's success. He gave me a bit of brilliance. He said, no big plays and play better than the other guy back upstairs.
All right, Beaves, thank you very much. The Colts haven't won here since 1995, and overall, the New England Patriots have beaten Indianapolis 7 of the last 8 games. As you take a look at Danny Kite, he's got 5 touchbacks already this season for the Colts, a team which carries 3 kickers. And deep back, bottom of your screen is the rookie J.R. Redmond, and there is Kevin Falk, who will start at tailback today. It's about 55 degrees. There is a breeze blowing from left to right inside the stadium. The Colts coming from behind in dramatic fashion to beat Buffalo last week. New England winning in Denver for the first time in over 3 decades. And here we go in Foxborough. It's a short kick, and Falk just smothers it at the 23. Probably a pretty wise move. Only Cowboy quarterback Troy Aikman and Packer quarterback Brett Favre have been the starting quarterback for the same team longer than Drew Bledsoe has started for New England.
His offensive line is going to have to give him that protection to keep him, to make sure he's healthy. He's been sacked 75 times in the last 2 years.
So from the 24-yard line, it'll be first down and 10 yards to go as you take a look at Bledsoe, the Patriots' all-time leading passer. And 4 touchdowns last week in Denver. First down and 10, right to work goes Bledsoe. Pocket crumbles. He's grabbed and taken down. Bernard Halsey and Bernard Whittington right there for the Colts. And they get a sack. That is the 10th sack for the Colts in a little over 2 games. They are on fire. The offensive line came up with their best game of the season last week in Denver. They've got Armstrong and Truzzi, Damian Woody. Max Lane is back after the broken thumb, and right tackle Grant Williams. In the backfield, Falk and Carter with Brown and Terry Glenn, the wide receivers. The tight end, the ex-Cowboy Eric Bjornsson. Push it back to the 19. Second down and 15 with Bjornsson on the move. And the handoff goes to Falk, who follows a block on Carter and picks up about 4 yards on the play. The Colt defense, 10 sacks now in a little over 2 games. Chad Bransky had 4 of them over that span with Halsey, Whittington, and Johnson. Linebackers, Dwight Hollier in the middle, flanked on one side by the great Cornelius Bennett, on the other by second-year player Mike Peterson. And in the secondary, the corners are Burris and Poole, and then Jason Belzer and Chad Cota are the hard-hitting safeties. It's third down and 11 at the 23. And Bledsoe moves up nicely in the pocket, has to get to the 34. He's on the move, and then he is tackled by Burris. But he gets a first down. Burris the grab and a gain on the play of 15 yards. And Darryl, that's something you don't expect to see in Drew Bledsoe.
You really don't. And everybody talks about the pocket passer versus the scrambling quarterback. But what you have to realize is Drew Bledsoe and the great pocket passers know when everything breaks down and they can make the plays to keep the chains moving. One of the great things about Drew Bledsoe is his competitive instincts.
28 years old, 8 years out of Washington State. Seems like he's been around a lot longer than that.
It really does.
Spot the ball at the 39. Redmond in the backfield. It's first down and 10 for New England. And here's the rookie out of Arizona State, Redmond, who's gobbled up by Mike Peterson, a linebacker, after a gain of 8 on first down. Well, the Patriots come into today 1-4.
And one of the most important things for Patriots success today is going to be protecting Bledsoe. They've had the close losses to start the season off against great teams. And Laurie Malloy on the defensive side of the ball. He's listed as a safety, but you will see him play linebacker. You will see him play cornerback. He's going to have a big day to help shut down that potent Indianapolis attack.
Redmond remains in the game. Second down, long 2, shy of the 46. Opening drive of the game. Redmond again, a block from Max Lane and a block from Tony Clark. And he had to get up to the 49-yard line, and he'll be just shy of a first down. And the Colts on the play, and the tackle made by Mike Peterson along with Peyton Williams.
And this is interesting because talking to Drew Bledsoe, they're a team that likes to throw to set up the run with some draws and some different things. But what we've seen on these first few running plays is they're going to a traditional 2-back set. They're pulling guards. They're trying to pound the ball at Indianapolis.
Mixing things up a little. First down out to the 49-yard line after the measurement. And Glenn is in motion out of the backfield. Bledsoe with time fires a pass, and it's caught by Chris Callaway as he beats the wide receiver slide across the way. Belzer with the tackle. Another first down pickup there at 28 yards.
Chris Callaway at the top of your screen. They're running a combination route with a short one, and Chris Callaway going to the out. If you give Drew Bledsoe time in the pocket, he will find the open receiver and get him the ball. That's what happened last week. They started out this game with a sack, but the offensive line has come together.
From the Colt 23, first and 10. Run again in motion. Redmond in the backfield. Offers a block by Bledsoe. Time and looks down the side again for Callaway with the flag thrown on the play. And the coverage by right cornerback Tyrone Poole.
And this is an area that I think the Patriots definitely need to attack. I think they have mismatches on the outside with the wide receivers versus the cornerbacks for the Indianapolis Colts.
Alabama Walt Coleman is our referee here today.
Pass interference, 38, defense, automatic, first down.
You see Chris Callaway again at the top of the screen, almost the same formation as last time. He's adjusting his route to a simple fade. You can see the contact there by Tyrone Poole. He didn't get his head around quick enough. He wasn't looking back at the ball, had the contact.
That's the key, whipping your head around.
Exactly.
So really a 16-yard penalty. It's first and goal for the New England Patriots at the 7 of the Colts in the game-opening drive. Bledsoe once again to Redmond. And breaks a couple tackles before he was brought down by Ellis Johnson after a gain of 4. Chad Cota also came from the safety. Bill Belichick, a former Colt assistant back in 1975 and the former head coach of the old Cleveland Browns. And Jim Mora, who is tied with John Madden in number of wins, now in his 3rd season with the Indianapolis Colts. 8th play of this good-looking opening drive by the Patriots. Second down and goal at the 3. Redmond again, a Carter block, and Redmond trying to work his way inside before Mike Peterson, who is a sharp-looking second-year linebacker from Florida, makes the stick.
He's done a great job. I think he's been one of the pleasant surprises for the Indianapolis Colts, a second-year guy who's really coming into his own. You can see him on the backside here. He's going to flow all the way across. As they're pulling the lineman, they're going to bring the fullback underneath. You can see the pursuit and watch the hit. The head is down. He drives through. He doesn't let the running back square his shoulders.
Third down and goal from the 3. And here comes the rush. Grabbed by Josh Williams was the quarterback Bledsoe, and his pass flutters incomplete. Looked like Redmond, number 21, was right there. As the rookie from Michigan, a 4th-round pick, got in the face of Bledsoe, and so the Colt defense doesn't break. They hold him to a 3-point try.
And this has got to be kind of a scary situation for New England. They have struggled in the red zone throughout the season, but last week in Denver, in the first half, they were 3 for 3 with 3 touchdowns. And this is what Indianapolis did to Buffalo last week. They would get into the red zone, they would hold them to field goals, they gave their offense an opportunity to win the football game at the end.
So here's Adam Vinatieri with the 21-yard try. Lee Johnson, the punter, on the hold, and the New England Patriots get 3 points on their first drive of the game. Bill Belichick up early on Indianapolis, 3-0 by New England. A 21-yard field goal by Adam Vinatieri.
And the key play on that drive, the 16-yard run by Drew Bledsoe on 3rd and 11. He's not a scrambling quarterback, but he will do the things necessary to put you in a position to keep those chains moving.
He's a smart quarterback.
He's a very, very intelligent quarterback. One of the intangibles that I think you have to have as a quarterback to be successful in the NFL.
Vinatieri has it teed up. Deep back will be Peyton Williams, along with Jerome Patham. And from the 5, the rookie Williams finds a hole, gets a block on the play, and Mike Peterson was the one given the block, finally brought down by Kato Sirawanga. 28-yard return. We're going to see Peyton Manning and the Colts when we come back. Kevin Harlan, Darrell Johnston, Beasley Reese here in Foxborough from the 33-yard line. The Colts will have it for the first time today. First down and 10 yards to go. 2 tight ends set for quarterback Peyton Manning. He'll go right to work. And across the middle, it's Marvin Harrison, who works his way up to the 39-yard line, brought down by linebacker Ted Johnson. Peyton Manning makes his 37th career start, comes in today, Darrell, as the number 2 rated quarterback in the NFL.
And Peyton Manning is the complete package. He has great preparation, he has a work ethic second to none, and on top of that, he's got the physical skills of a quarterback.
Second down and 4 up near the 39 for Indianapolis. It looks like Manning's changing the play.
And him and Jeff Saturday will have a lot of flexibility to change plays at the line of scrimmage and their blocking schemes.
Well, Saturday is an important cog in that. Quick pass, caught by 5'8" Terrence Wilkins. Good block from Jacob. Good block from Harrison. And Ty Law runs him out of bounds on the far side after a good gain of 22 yards. Manning with great time. He's only been sacked 4 times in 4 games, getting good protection from Glenn, McKinney, Saturday, and Larry Moore, and Adam Meadows, who has battled pneumonia all week long. One running back is James. Pollard is the H-back and a valuable member of the offense. Wilkins and Harrison, the wide receivers, and the tight end is Ken Gilgan. On the Patriot 39. First time the Colts have had it today. First down and 10 yards to go. And our first look at Adrian James, wrapped up by Bobby Hamilton, the ex-New York Jet, for a gain of 1. And the Patriot defense, an undersized front 7, but they were key in the Patriots' win last week at Denver. McGinnis, Mitchell, Chad Eaton, and Bobby Hamilton, who just made the tackle. Linebackers for New England. Ted Johnson, one side, he's got Slade, the other. Teddy Bruschi, who's had a great season so far. And in the secondary, Law and Smith are the corners. Wiggin and Malloy are the safeties. And they'll be defending on 2nd down and 9. And Wiggin, as you see right there, starting today at the 38-yard line of New England. And the blitz comes on from Johnson. Picked up the pass for Gilder, and he is shy of a first down. And to get down to the 29-yard line, picks up a yard, and Chris Slade is there to make the tackle. The Colts come into today with the record of 3-1.
And Peyton's leadership is the key to the success of the Indianapolis Colts, along with everything else he brings as a leader to this football team. Reestablish the run. They've got to get Adrian James back into the running game. Jim Mora wants to go between the tackles. The offense versus Belichick. He's going to have a lot of new schemes, and he's going to have something new for Peyton Manning today.
Mora now faced with 3rd down and 8 from the 37 of New England. Shotgun formation for Manning. Pocket crumbling, grabbed and taken down on the play by Greg Spires, who had a sack last week in Denver. Records another one here today in New England.
And Greg Spires is a guy who's just starting to adjust to this 3-4 defense that Bill Belichick has in place. When he was in college, he was always in the 4-3 defense. So as the season goes on, he's going to get better and better. Coming from the bottom of your screen, Edrin gives him a little chip. That's a coverage sack. There was just nowhere for him to go with the ball. You can't expect your offensive lineman to keep him out that long. Good relentless pass rush by Spires.
And the secondary has come under some criticism here in New England, so a good job there. And the punt by Johnson, fair caught back at the 8-yard line by Troy Brown, one of the best in the NFL at retrieving punts. Number 2, League One. And there's a timeout here in Foxborough. And the great views you're seeing of play on the field being brought to us today by Monster.com's blimp, Trump. Monster.com operates 2 blimps in the U.S., this one based on the East Coast. From the 9-yard line, New England gets it for a second time. First down and 10. Troy Brown is maneuvering. The handoff goes to Kevin Falk. Brought down by Chad Cota as he takes it out near the 15-yard line on a gain of 6. Last week he went by Steve Grogan and became the Patriots' all-time leading passer.
And one of the things that you expected from Drew Bledsoe as he came into the league, you knew he had the skills and the intangibles to become one of the great quarterbacks in the NFL. He hasn't let anybody down.
Shy of the 15, second down and 5. Falk remains in the game, gets the call, and again is stuck and brought down up the middle. Tony Blevins coming with the tackle from the secondary for the Indianapolis Colts. They got a very deep secondary for Indianapolis.
They really do. And on this play here, what they did, they had the blitz coming up on the inside, and Tony Blevins was just unblockable. I think the offensive line had basically everybody taken care of. But Tony Blevins, if you can't block the guy, he's going to make those tackles.
Blevins came from San Francisco. So third down and 3 now for the Patriots, who drove 73 yards on their first drive today. 16-yard line. You see the third down conversion percentage for the season. 4 receivers deployed. 4-man rush. Gets out to Bledsoe. Outside to Terry Glenn. Spun down at the 22. Picks up a first down on the play. And the coverage by rookie David Macklin. A gain of 7 on third down.
And you can see the Colts walking up, showing a blitz. Drew Bledsoe making the audible, giving the adjusted receiver to the outside with enough yards for the first down.
You like Glenn?
I really do. And I think that him and Troy Brown could really have a big day today. I think they match up very well with the Colts secondary, coming off big games last week at Denver.
Chris Floyd is checked in the game in the backfield for New England. A first down catch by Glenn out near the 24-yard line for the Patriots. The blitz by Belzer. Good block on the side by Williams. Offers up that pass, does Bledsoe to fall. And outside he goes for a gain of about 5 on the play. Macklin, again, the rookie, was the guy that Indianapolis had worked on.
And this was the blitz that Drew Bledsoe was talking to us about. They will bring the safeties and the corners off the slots, and that was Jason Belzer that time coming off. He's got Kevin Falk in the flat. They're doing a good job of recognizing the blitz, picking up the blitz, and then getting the ball to the open receiver.
Second down and 5 as Miami has an early lead. Down at Pro Players Stadium, no score yet. Steelers and Jets. Pittsburgh with the surprise win last week at Jacksonville. At the 29. And the handoff to Falk. Lead blocked by Woody, who goes right in the face of Marcus Washington. Then the tackle made by Chad Bradsky after a gain of 3.
And Damian Woody, only a second-year player, but he's one of the guys that has really excelled on the offensive line. Chad Eaton practices against him every day. Here he is right here at the center position. He compares him to Kevin Mawai from the New York Jets. You don't see a center pulling a lot in the NFL. He's got great feet, he's got great strength, and he's just continued to become a better football player.
New quarterback will be Michael Bishop. 3rd and 2. He's out of Kansas State. At the 32-yard line, and the handoff goes to Kevin Falk, who picks up the first down. So that time, Bishop was nothing more than window dressing, but certainly on the minds of the Colts defense.
And this is one of the things they wanted to do with him last week. Michael Bishop coming from Kansas State. He was a great option quarterback. He's got scrambling ability, but he's also got a great arm. What they did last week in Denver is they brought him in third down situations, and they did the plays that the Denver Broncos expected. As you said right there, they bring him in, but they hand the ball off.
Redmond in the backfield, 7th play of the drive from the 38. And the fake, and a beauty it is by Bledsoe. He breaks a tackle with Belzer and throws outside to his tight end, Eric Bjornsson, for a meager gain of 2. And again, Tony Blevins there with the stop.
And there's that blitz again that Drew Bledsoe was worried about. They had one of those plays that they wanted to take a shot down the field for a big play. Great play action, but the Colts with a good blitz called to take that play away.
We saw Bledsoe have a nice gain in that first drive of 16 yards, and he is a very durable quarterback. We mentioned before, only Aikman and Brett Favre at Green Bay have longer stints with their team than Bledsoe.
And talking to him, when he walked into the room, you can tell he's durable because of the size of him. You forget how big Drew Bledsoe is until you meet him.
Shy of the 40, second down and 8. And a handoff to the rookie Redmond. Dwight Collier, the ex-Miami Dolphin and a part-time starter down in Miami for the last 8 years, limits him to a gain of 1.
And what a great story Dwight Collier has been for the Indianapolis Colts. They brought him in to be a Sam linebacker to back up Cornelius Bennett, to help out Marcus Washington in his development, and he ends up winning the inside linebacker job.
In fact, they drafted a kid, Rob Morris, out of BYU, and they've got young linebackers there, but you're right, he's been probably as big a surprise as they've had.
Jim Mora called him that. We asked him what his biggest surprise during the training camp and into the season so far. He told us Dwight Collier.
Outside of the 41, third down and 7, 2 of 2 on third downs on this drive for the New England Patriots, and 3 receivers out there. Falk in the backfield. Bledsoe being chased and then brought down by the rookie Marcus Washington out of Auburn. A second-round pick, a guy who played some defensive end for the Tigers.
And he's going to be down here on the bottom of your screen. They're going to run a little stunt to the inside. And Mike Murphy, the linebacker coach, calls him an untapped oil well. He missed a lot of the preseason with a hamstring injury, and he's just starting to get into the rhythm of playing. He had a sack last week. He's got a sack this game already.
Lee Johnson will punt. 38 years of age, 16 years out of BYU. As you take a look at Terrence Wilkins, deep back for the Indianapolis Colts, and they're certainly setting up the return here. And Wilkins back at his own 15-yard line, gets a block from Williams, but that will not stop the onslaught. And Floyd, the reserve running back out of Michigan, makes the stop. A 6-yard gain on the return after the 54-yard punt by Lee Johnson. On alongside the newest member of our CBS team, Daryl Johnston, Moose Johnston, the former fullback with the Dallas Cowboys, blocking up front, a problem early on for the Patriots.
And one of the things that we talked about at the beginning of the game, that was one of the strongest points of the game last week. One of the big reasons they beat Denver was the play of the offensive line. They gave up a sack on the first play, gave up another sack on that drive to stall.
3 championships with the Dallas Cowboys. We had a chance to look at this ring. Now what's that finger there on the side? I'm more interested in the finger than I am the ring.
That's one of the souvenirs you get from the NFL when you play.
From the 21-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go. Indianapolis punted the first time they had the ball. Howard is in motion. The fake pitch to James. Great time for Manning. Throws downfield and a leaping catch made by Harrison at the 44-yard line. Right, it seemed in the crease between the linebackers and the secondary. It's a gain of 23 as Lawyer Malloy makes the tackle.
And just great execution by the Indianapolis offense. I really feel that nobody in the NFL does a better job with play action than the Indianapolis Colts. And when you've got a running back that puts pressure on the defense, it opens up so many different options for Peyton Manning.
And Manning is a relentless worker.
Tireless in his efforts of preparation for a game.
On the 44 after the 23-yard gain. First and 10 for the NFL's second-rated quarterback. A block by Power, but that does not stop Chad Eaton from coming from behind and bringing down Edgerrin James. Eaton coming off a good game against Denver at Mile High last week.
Chad Eaton coming off a great game last week against Denver, and he's only supposed to be a 2-gap player. He's not supposed to be making these tackles in the backfield. He's supposed to occupy the offensive lineman to let the linebackers run free and make the plays, but he's contributing to tackles this year.
And he makes a backside tackle. Who's responsible for not stopping him?
You can see the right guard trying to cut him off, but Chad's got that quick burst off the ball. If you don't get down on him, he's going to penetrate and get into the backfield.
Second down 11, ball pushed back now to the Colts 43-yard line. Comes the rush. Manning is hit as he throws, and that one is dropped across the middle by receiver Jerome Payton. And they were up in Manning's face on that play.
And one of the things you're going to have to do to have success against Indianapolis is put pressure on the quarterback. But a great inside move by Willie McGinnis right there. He had the big play last week against Denver that caused the sack and the fumble. You've got to know where Willie McGinnis is on every snap, or he's going to be in your backfield all day.
His play may have been the signature defensive play for the Patriots last week. Third down 11, back at the 43. Manning is going to bring his tight end Dilger over. No blitz put on here. Here comes the rush by Eaton and Brandon Mitchell on a pass. Wide open across the way. Wilkins, he dances for the first down and shoved out of bounds on the far side by Kato Saranga. So a first down pass and a gain of 17 yards on 3rd and 11.
We saw Drew Bledsoe do it for the Patriots on their opening drive. Here, Peyton Manning, another drop-back passer, scrambles out of the pocket, buys himself a little bit of time, and finds his open receiver to convert on a 3rd and long.
And on the pregame show today in the NFL studios on 5th Avenue, we saw a huge feature on drop-back quarterbacks. Are they mobile enough in this day and age of scrambling, moving pocket quarterbacks?
Well, they don't do the things that the people that are coming. When you look at a Dante Culpepper and a Donovan McNabb, no, they don't do those type of things. But when you drop back in the pocket, they have a feel, they sense the pressure, they give themselves time, and they deliver the ball.
Manning 5 of 6 throwing. And here's the handoff to Edgerrin James, and brought down after a gain of 5 by Ted Johnson and Otis Smith. James has not had a 100-yard game since week 1 at Kansas City. And that's the end of the first quarter, with the New England Patriots on the game-opening drive getting a 21-yard field goal from Adam Vinatieri. And we'll return to Foxborough Stadium right after this message from your local CBS station. Harold Johnston, Beasley Reeves here in Foxborough. We begin the second quarter with the Colts in a 2nd and 5 near the 35-yard line of New England. Manning will throw and incomplete. May have been tapped. He was looking for wide receiver Terrence Wilkins, who seemingly was in a double pool team downfield.
And you'll see Terrence up here at the top of the screen going to run down. He's got a lot of guys around him. He had Marvin Harrison coming underneath, but this is one of the things that Peyton Manning talked about. He doesn't have to go to Marvin Harrison all the time because he's gotten a lot of confidence in Terrence Wilkins, Jerome Pathan. The other receivers have really stepped up, so he's not looking for Marvin Harrison as much as he was last year.
And the other receivers, I'm sure, like that quite a bit.
He wants to distribute the ball a little bit more evenly.
3rd and 5 from the 35 for Manning. 4 receivers, 3 at the bottom of your screen. Good block by Glenn. Buys time for Manning. Going across the middle. Broken up beautifully by nickel linebacker Andy Katzenmoyer. And once again, the Colts will have to punt. Get live updates for each NFL game as it happens. Just click on live scores at cbs.sportsline.com. Hunter Smith, who is the #1 punter in the NFL. And the AFC Special Team Player of the Month. It's ready to boot it for a 2nd time. Troy Brown inside the 10 for New England. High hanging kick. Great hang time. And saved at the 1-yard line by David Macklin. A 34-yard punt by the #1 punter in the NFL. Hunter Smith out of Notre Dame. And there's a timeout.
Back at Foxborough Stadium, where New England leads at 3-0. You know, this is the game of audibles and adjustments. Something to watch when you're looking at home. The Patriots jump in and out of fronts. Peyton Manning makes an audible to change it. Patriots go back to a different movement. It's happening the same thing on the other side of the ball. So watch as these defenses do a lot of adjusting back upstairs.
Thank you, Bees. Great punt by Hunter Smith. Maroons the Patriots after 1 with rookie J.R. Redmond trying to jump inside. Gets a meager gain of 2. Let's send it off now to Jim Nance at our studios on 5th Avenue.
All right, thank you, Kevin. We have an injury update. Vinny Testaverde on the first snap of the game out with a pinched nerve in his neck. Ray Lucas comes in. He's picked by Dwayne Washington. His return sets up a field goal. Steelers leading at the Jets early. Let's go back now to Kevin and Darryl.
All right, thank you, Jim. Testaverde has won 16 of his 18 starts for the Jets. And, of course, they're undefeated this year with him as the quarterback.
And he hasn't played consistent yet. He's out with another knee injury. Hopefully nothing bad like last year.
2nd and 8 as the knockdown by Ray Burris, the ex-Buffalo Bill, with a flag thrown on the play, and perhaps he was inside his uniform. As Walt Coleman tells us, it's against the Indianapolis Colts.
And that's going to be a big penalty because Hunter Smith did a great job punting from his own 35-yard line.
20, defense, automatic, 1st down.
Very effective down to the 1-yard line, pinning him deep. In New England coming off their own goal line, you can see right here as they break to the inside, he's coming through the receiver. You can put your hand on the receiver as long as you're not coming through or spinning him and hooking him. That's obviously pass interference.
And some breathing space now for the Patriots outside their 13, 1st down and 10. And it goes once again to Redmond, who emerged last week in Denver, and then the middle of that line stops him after a gain of a yard on the play. Bells are getting off the pile. It was interesting in listening to the coaches talk about the Colt defense, and the two players they mentioned, Chad Cota, but Jason Belzer as well.
Yeah, when you have two safeties like that, and Jason Belzer, a guy that will come up and hit you. Everybody talks about Ellis Johnson and Chad Bratsky, but Jason Belzer and Chad Cota are the guys that keep that defense together. Chad Cota called Jason, or Chad was the smart guy, Jason was the big hitter.
And both built like linebackers. 2nd down and 9 outside the 14 of the Patriots. The fake the fact. Here comes the blitz from the corner, as Gary, you called it earlier on, and Ray Burris devours the quarterback, Drew Bledsoe. That is the 3rd sack given up today by the New England offensive line. And coming up in the NASDAQ.com halftime report, join Jim, Mike, and Randy for all the scores and highlights, plus an update on the Oakland-San Francisco game and Jet quarterback Vinny Testaverde. All coming up in the NASDAQ.com halftime report.
Interesting to see this corner blitz giving the Patriots so much trouble. Drew Bledsoe talked to us about it yesterday. It was something that they were praying for all week. There has to be a miscommunication somewhere.
Back to the 9, 3rd and 14, draw play to Falk, who dances around Ellis Johnson and brought down by Chad Cota out near the 17-yard line, and a gain of about 3 on the play.
Chad Cota getting his number called again. Jason Belzer, the guy that really comes up and makes the big hits, but as he pointed out, Chad is really the guy that gets everything set straight in that secondary, but he's also a physical player. And yesterday, I told you about that one play when we asked if we'd ever cross paths together, and yeah. I got to relive one of one of those plays with Chad when he stuffed me at the goal line on a play.
Lee Johnson will punt. Terrence Wilkins is back inside the 35, and after the 8-yard gain, not enough for a first down. Johnson has bounced around the NFL, most recently with Cincinnati, gets it high and hanging. And bouncing at the 41 and ricocheting down to about the 39-yard line. A 44-yard punt by Lee Johnson. So they only scored a 21-yard field goal by the Patriots. Adam Vinatieri. Earl Johnston, a little defense on display here this afternoon.
And after that opening drive by the Patriots, they did what they did last week. They got into the red zone, they held them to a field goal, but as Beasley pointed out, the adjustments that are going on back and forth, forcing both offenses to adjust, they've really settled in. It's become a real big defensive battle right now, a battle for field position.
40-yard line after the punt. Colts have it, first down and 10 yards to go. Howard in the backfield with James. You see the average starting position. Look at Fletcher and James. Again, no place to run, no place to hide. A gain of 3 right there as Bobby Hamilton makes the stop.
Jim Mora told us he does not want to run outside against the Patriots defense. He feels they flow very well. He wants to run between the tackles. That's the big physical part of this offensive line. That's the job they have to do. And he questioned whether they were going to be able to match up against that New England front and be able to knock them off the ball to be able to run between the tackles.
Rushing in the game, 2nd down and 7 near the 43-yard line. Conventional rush. Here comes McGinnis battling with Glenn. The pass outside is caught by Marvin Harrison. A wobbly grab, but a first down catch nonetheless. A gain at 12, and Otis Smith ushers him out of bounds.
And you can see the effect that Edgerrin James can have on a play. He's going to be coming out of the backfield. He will open up the 2 receivers here you see at the top. Teddy Bruschi flowing across, chasing Edgerrin James. Look at Marvin Harrison finding that little dead area right there. That is the respect that Edgerrin James will command from the New England defense. Bill Belichick has to make sure he doesn't let him have a big play.
Harrison's had a couple quiet weeks. He's already got 3 catches today, but just 5 over the last couple games for Marvin Harrison. First down from the 45-yard line for the Colts, who move again on that Patriot defense in a quick slant. And it is hauled in by Harrison, who is grabbed by Johnson. And a gain of 6 as Cincinnati leads Tennessee, and the Redskins winning at Philadelphia. 2 3-2 teams battling. Green Bay has not won many, losing 7 of their last 8 in Detroit, Pontiac Silverdome. And they're tied now because Chicago took the initial 7-0 lead at Soldier Field. 2nd down and 4. Colts come into today 3-1, but ahead of them the Jets at 4-0 and Miami at 4-1. And somebody moved, and McGinnis is pointing at Glenn.
Everybody's pointing at each other. Nobody moved first.
On a hard count like that in the huddle, what would Troy Aikman say to you Cowboys?
Don't be offsides. I'm going on 2. Everybody got that? That's a hard 2 this time.
Walt Coleman, our referee.
Neutral zone infraction, 55 on the defense. 5 yards. First down.
That's McGinnis.
There's Willie up here at the top of your screen. Tarek Glenn looks like he was right. Yep, Willie moves first. Tarek responds to that. You can't flinch an offensive lineman. If they move because you're moving, it is going to be on the defensive player. They made that rule change a few years ago. I think it's a good change because a lot of these guys were really stepping up, especially on the outside on an away game with the crowd noise. It's very difficult for those tackles to hear.
So after the Patriots' first penalty, it's a first down inside the 35 for the Colts. Tight end Marcus Pollard, the ex-college basketball player, maneuvering. Hand off to James. A lead block by Pollard on Brewski. Finally a tackle made by Larry Wiggum after a gain of 4 on the play. And downstairs we go to Beasley Reese.
Thanks a lot, guys. It looks like Marvin Harrison is big in the game plan today for Indy. He had 19 catches in the first 2 weeks, then 2 versus Jacksonville, only 3 last week. He's got 4 already today. Back upstairs.
So there's much more in the game plan.
Well, everybody talks about the fact that Marvin Harrison has only had 5 catches in the last 2 weeks. But those 5 catches have gone for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. So it's not really how many he's catching, but what he's doing with those catches.
Second down and 6 at the 30 of New England. As James again, and slithering his way just inside the 25-yard line, nearing a first down on a gain of 5. And Beasley, do you notice anything different in the Patriots secondary coverage today because they've had some troubles?
Absolutely. Let me tell you what they are doing. They are waiting until the last second to show what they are really going to do. They are spending a lot of time and energy disguising their coverages. You have to do that against Peyton Manning. Back upstairs.
All right, Bees, coming from an NFL defensive back like yourself. Good information. 3rd down and 1 on the 25. James breaking a tackle, getting by Slade, coming from behind, and picked up by Larry Wiggum. It's a gain of 8 and a Colt first down.
Peyton Manning called Marcus Pollard one of the most versatile people in the offense. He says he is the key. Watch the block here on this 3rd and short to help Edgerrin James get out around the corner. There's the seal on the outside. Edgerrin, a lot of patience using it. And watch the stiff arm. I think he is really developing one of the best stiff arms in the NFL. And the great thing about him is he's never going backwards when the tacklers are coming. He is always going forward.
Did you have the stiff arm down in Dallas?
I didn't get to carry the ball much, so I didn't have to use that stiff arm.
First down at the 17 of New England. Good-looking drive engineered by Manning with the fake there, a deceptive move, and throw to the end zone, and it's caught for a touchdown. Marvin Harrison. The 4th consecutive game, he has grabbed a touchdown pass from quarterback Peyton Manning. 17 yards, and the Colts have their first lead today.
And here's that play-action pass we're talking about. Great play fake. Peyton Manning steps back. They've run the ball effectively the last few times, and look what it does for Marvin Harrison. Ty Law is nowhere near him. It's an easy pitch and catch. Here's Marvin Harrison. He's coming off. He sells him on the inside move. Not only great play fake by the offensive line, the quarterback's in the back, but a great route by Marvin Harrison.
And Law's performance a bit of a concern. Panda Jack with the extra point. And it is 7-3 as Harrison, a Pro Bowler a season ago, makes up with a Pro Bowl catch right there. The new stadium being built right there. It'll be open up in a couple years, all privately financed. Moments ago, a 17-yard touchdown pass. Peyton Manning to Marvin Harrison. Manning was 3 of 3 on the drive. Colts have their first lead. Redmond and Falk are deep back. And this will be the veteran Falk from the 5-yard line. Jim Finn almost had a shot at him, and he's knocked off his horse. His Falk, the distant cousin of Marshall Falk, the ex-Colts. Right now, the current Colts looking pretty good. 7-3 on top of the Patriots. Kevin Harlan, Darrell Johnston, Beasley Reese from Foxborough. Patriots will start it. First down and 10 yards to go from their own 29-yard line. Harrison moments ago, a touchdown grab. Colts on top for the first time, 7-3. Bledsoe right to work. Rush from Bransky, dumps it off in a screen pass. And it is caught by Falk, who maneuvers up to the 40-yard line with a nice block by Isaiah. Now taking the place of Max Lane at right guard.
Let's go back and take a look at the touchdown. The play action will pull up the safety. They want to take advantage of Ty Law's aggressiveness. Watch the double move. They combine the play action to get the safety up. The double move by Marvin Harrison because of his aggressive style of play. And it's a touchdown for Marvin Harrison.
And Law has been the subject of concern for the Patriots. Harrison right on track where he was a season ago, and after the gain of 11, with the play action fake, the blitz is on, the pass is on, the pass by Bledsoe whistles over the head of Glenn on the side. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Here at 7-3, the Colts. Let's go to 5th Avenue in Jim Nance.
We have the same score, Kevin, at Cincinnati. The Bengals at the start of the second quarter get Corey Dillon free into the secondary. He'll fight off any tackle. And 80 yards in all to put the Bengals up. Again, 7-3. Let's go back to Kevin and Darrell.
Well, Cincinnati, thank you, Jim, still looking for their first win at the brand new Paul Brown Stadium. Tennessee has won 4 consecutive over the Bengals. 2nd down and 10 from the 40, going deep. And incomplete as Bledsoe was circling Glenn downfield. The coverage applied on the play by Tyrone Poole. Joe Brown, who caught a couple touchdown passes a week ago, has not been thrown to yet. 3rd down and 10. Nose of the football with Damian Woody, the center, at the 40-yard line. And outside he goes again for the running back, Falk, who is corralled nicely by Tony Blevins after a gain of 4, and shy of a first down by 6. And so the New England Patriots will have to punt for a 3rd consecutive time.
And the difference between last week and this week is the receivers aren't getting the yards after the catch that they got against Denver. If they're going to throw these short passes, they've got to be able to break tackles. But that was one of Jim Mora's areas of concern. He didn't feel that they tackled well last week in Buffalo. So both sides working to achieve the same thing. Right now, you got to give the advantage to Indianapolis.
Lee Johnson to punt back inside his 35-yard line. Terrence Wilkins is back at about the 15 for the Indianapolis Colts. Bright sunshine here in New England today. That's what Wilkins looks up into from the 12 and then stormed under, brought down by Rob Holmberg. And a flag is thrown on the play, a 43-yard kick as it stands right now. Holmberg has played for the Raiders, Colts back in '98, the Jets and Vikings. Flag is down and it is called against the Colts. Patriots have already given up a touchdown today in the red zone. That's the first they've given up in a little over 2 games.
Illegal block in the back. 26 of the return team. Half the distance. First down.
And to the 13-yard line. So on a picturesque day here in New England, it's Jim Mora and his Colts on top of the pass. And the Monster.com blimp Trump is providing us with these live aerial shots of the game today. They operate 2 blimps in the U.S. Marooned inside the 7. Peyton Manning. First down and 10 yards to go. The snap from Jeff Saturday and the handoff. The safe one it is for Edgerrin James, who moves a pile up near the 11-yard line. Ted Johnson there after a gain of 2 for the tackle for New England. And again, we came into today thinking Manning and the Colt offense against the Bill Belichick defense of the Patriots.
And what Peyton Manning told us was that you have to be disciplined and you have to be patient against the Belichick coach defense. And that's what they have done up until this point. They have thrown the ball short. They've been trying to establish the run with Edgerrin, but they took their shot last time in the red zone, and that discipline and that patience paid off with a big touchdown pass to Marvin Harrison.
On the 10, 2nd down and 7. Manning. Good block from McKinley and a pass caught by Terrence Wilkins, crossing the 20 and picks up a first down, brought down by Otis Smith after a gain of 10 yards on 2nd and 7.
And the combination patterns that they're running, they're opening up receivers. You'll see Terrence Wilkins here at the top. He goes up, he's coming under. There goes the receiver right by him. He just cleared out that zone, pulled Teddy Bruschi right by him, and the route is coming right back into that vacated area.
Wilkins missed some games because of a preseason concussion. First down, 20-yard line for the Colts. Showered in the backfield with James, and the play action by Manning, forced from the pocket by McGinnis, and the pass caught for a first down by Marvin Harrison. Again, torching Ty Law after a gain of 12.
And it's just amazing to watch Peyton Manning in the pocket, to think that this is only his 3rd year. He is so poised, he is so mature. Just an unbelievable job by him in the pocket. And here's the matchup that Bill Belichick wanted. He wanted Ty Law and Marvin Harrison. Right now, that is paying big dividends for the Indianapolis Colts.
6 catches for Harrison today. On the 32-yard line, first down and 10 yards to go for the Colts, who lead at 7-3. Harrison already a 17-yard touchdown catch today. And the handoff to James. Good block on the side by Dilger. Downfield, a block by Harrison, and run out of bounds by Ty Law after a gain of 5 and near the 36-37 yard line.
And they're still trying to establish that run in between the tackles. That time the linebacker did a great job of taking on the fullback and stuffing the hole, forced Edgerrin James to bounce outside.
Just think what this team could have drafted. They could have drafted Ricky Williams as the running back instead of James. They also could have drafted Ryan Leaf instead of Peyton Manning.
Bill Polian made 2 huge personnel decisions on that. He's the architect of the Buffalo Bills team of the early 90s that dominated the AFC for 4 years.
Near the 37, second down and 5. Shotgun handoff with a Pollard lead block and a block by Wilkins. It's James picking up a first down and wheeling his way for a gain of 10 before Larry Wiggum makes the tackle. And the Colts keep rolling right along as we do on Monday nights on CBS. Beginning with the King of Queen, Yes Dear, Everybody Loves Raymond, Becker, Family Law. All coming up on Monday on CBS. Bill Belichick, last year the defensive coordinator for Bill Parcells and the Jets. Reeled in here by Bob Kraft, the owner of the Patriots. First down and 10, shy of the 47. Fake again. A seduced move by Manning, who throws outside. Is Otis Smith is all over Terrence Wilkins, and it's, I think, a first down, at least close to a first down across the way, depending on the spot. And they give it to him. Gain of about 12.5 on the play.
And we saw the running play just a few plays ago. The same action. Here's the receiver at the top of the screen. Off this play fake. He's going downfield. Snaps his route off. Thrown on time by Peyton Manning. A good job of running the route past the sticks also. Get past that first down so you don't get pushed back short of it.
Wilkins took the hint from Harrison and showed up during the offseason for more work.
All the guys have. They have all followed Peyton Manning's lead and Marvin Harris's lead. They have a tremendous offseason work program.
From the 40, first and 10. Great think by Manning. Wanted to go deep. Goes to his second option. That's the tight end Dilger. Another first down. The tackle made at the 24-yard line by linebacker Ted Johnson. A gain of 16 yards. Manning is picking apart the Patriot defense.
And this is the problem that Indianapolis poses to opposing defenses. Marvin Harrison, Terrence Wilkins, Ken Dilger. He's got weapons all around the field. If you don't get pressure on the quarterback, and he has the time, and a guy like Peyton Manning is going to find that open receiver.
Can't double everybody, can you, Bill Belichick?
You can't double everybody.
Manning has hit his last 7, finds himself now at the Patriot 24. First down and 10. James, a nice block from McKinley, but then the great play by Henry Thomas knocks him down after a gain of 1.
And they're continuing to pound on the inside, and I think it's a good strategy. I think you have to commit to the run because they are so good at their play-action passes. If you threaten the defense with this running game, even though it's not getting a lot of positive yards, they're getting some 1-yard runs, some 2-yard runs, but they're going to have to respect that run, and that's when you'll be able to take advantage of them in the play-action game.
Each team with 3 first-half timeouts. We're approaching the 2-minute warning. 9th play of the Colt drive. Manning, I think, will take it right down to the 2-minute warning. And facing second down and 9. He has thrown a touchdown pass, his 11th of the season earlier today. A 17-yard strike to Marvin Harrison. The defense for the Colts registering 3 sacks on the Belichick offense. It's 7-3 Colts. From the 23, second and 9, this Colt drive began at their 7th. 9th play of the drive coming up, and Manning has been great orchestrating this one. Good block by Glenn. Time for Manning. Throws a pass caught by Harrison. Picks up the first down, then grabbed on the play by Lawyer Malloy after a gain of 12.
They just do such a good job of packaging their routes together. You're going to see everybody going downfield. Right here, as they release down the field, the same combination that they use. Terrence Wilkins goes deep. Marvin Harrison hooks out. They've got Edgerrin James in the flat. There's so many weapons that they can go to and so many ways to beat you, but they do a great job of packaging those routes together.
7 catches for Harrison. First and 10 at the Patriot 11th. Not quite the 10 as you can see. So they can get a first down. Peyton in motion. Here comes the rush by Spires. It's a loose ball and retrieved by the right guard, Larry Moore. That's the 2nd sack Spires has registered today.
And he's going to come off the top right here. He's going to get the big hit on Peyton. He goes right by. Tarek Glenn is looking down inside. That is a blown assignment by the left tackle. you're going to see he just comes clean. Tarek is down inside, and Greg Spires comes free. Larry Moore does a great job of getting on the football to keep this drive still alive. There's the hit that Peyton Manning takes from the blind side.
And Glenn, one of the best left tackles in the NFL, Spires registering his 3rd sack in less than 2 games. 2 today and 1 last week at Mile High. He is a 3rd-round pick 3 years ago out of Florida State. Miami on top of Buffalo. That's a tough game there. And Pittsburgh with a surprise. Testaverde is out. The Jets are trailing. They come in as the only undefeated team in the AFC. Tennessee now on top of Cincinnati 10-7 with more scores. Here, 7-3 Colts. 1:14 to play in the first half. Second down, 18. Colts have 2 timeouts. Patriots have 3. Sack story right there. Manning from the shotgun inside the 20. Here comes Spires again. McKinley gives up his oncoming rush, and that was Brandon Mitchell, and a flag is down. It was McKinley and Mitchell, and a penalty flag against the Colts. Wait a minute. Hold against the New England Patriots.
And that's going to be a tough penalty after making a good defensive stop right there.
Illegal use of hands. Hands to the face. 45. Defense. 5 yards. Automatic. First down.
Odie Smith, 45.
And 2nd and 20 yards. It's only a 5-yard penalty, but it gives you the automatic first down. Otis Smith in a very unconventional stand. He's trying to get a jam on Terrence Wilkins at the line of scrimmage. I didn't see a whole lot there.
Second down and 10. That's right. You got to smack him in the face. First down and 10 from the 15-yard line. After the penalty, the pitch out goes to James, and from behind he is brought down by Willie McGinnis. And again, a backside tackle on James.
And there's that speed of the defense that Jim Mora talked about. He wants to run between the tackles because he really feels they flow real well. But here he's going with a toss sweep, and you'll see Willie McGinnis run it down from the inside.
Second down and 11. McGinnis missed some time with the pulled muscle, but appears to be hale and hearty now. What about the 16-yard line of New England? The Colts trying to get their backfield set. Second down and 11. And they dump it off. James with little room to go. No gain on the play. Brandon Mitchell came up and made a whale of a play. The former 2nd-round pick out of Texas A&M. 19 seconds remaining in the half. And a second timeout taken by the Colts. It'll be 3rd down and 11 coming up for the Colts at the New England 16.
And this could be a huge boost for the New England Patriots defense if they can hold them to a field goal right here. On the other side of the ball, this is what Indianapolis did last week at Buffalo. They didn't have a lot of chances in the red zone, but they scored touchdowns. So this 3rd and 11 is going to be a huge play.
5 defensive backs in for New England. 3rd and 11, 13th play of the drive, 16-yard line of the Patriots. You see a blitz? Here comes Spires, hits Manning, and flutters incomplete. The defense with a big play, and who else but Greg Spires offers another wonderful defensive stand.
Boy, and he has just given Tarek Glenn fits on the left side. Last time it was a missed assignment, but this time he's just going to beat him. They've got Teddy Bruschi walked up again. I'm sorry, he did the same thing. He went down on Teddy Bruschi, but he's not coming back out. He has got to be outside and respect Greg Spires.
So the Colts will try a field goal, and the defense of New England comes up with the moral victory there. 33-yard try by Vanderjagt, who picked the game-winning kick last week in Buffalo, and perfect again. Vanderjagt, the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Now 7 of 8 field goals today this season. Greg Spires with the big day. 2 sacks today, and with the big hit on Manning moments ago.
Well, he really stepped up huge on that last drive. He had the sack with the forced fumble that was recovered by Larry Moore, and then they had the hit there that altered Peyton's throw. But the problem is something with the protection, because Tarek Glenn is going down. When Teddy Bruschi's walking up into the line, Tarek Glenn is looking down inside. He's got to stay outside on Greg Spires. There's some confusion in that protection scheme, and if I was Bill Belichick, I would continue to show that until they figure out how to block that correctly.
Danny Kite to kick it off from the 30. Just 10 seconds remain in the first half. Kevin Falk is deep back for the New England Patriots. Falk came in today as the leading running back receiver in the AFC. On a short bounce, Simmons, the wide receiver out of Wisconsin, runs outside, chased by Blevins and by Kite, and forced out of bounds. Clock with 3 seconds on it. 39-yard return. Michael Bishop is in the game for the New England Patriots. 3 seconds remain. What would you call here?
I think Tony Simmons does a great job on the kickoff return to give you the opportunity to throw a Hail Mary. They've got 3 receivers up to the top of the screen. I take a shot at the end zone.
You told us that you like Bishop's arm, and here we go. Winding up. A lot of time, a lot of room. Throws it high. A perfect spiral to the end zone. And caught! It's caught by Simmons. Unbelievable! So Tony Simmons, a former second-round pick out of Wisconsin, picks up a line drive kickoff, returns it 39 yards, and moments ago caught a 44-yard touchdown pass from Michael Bishop. Bishop's first career NFL touchdown pass. Vinatieri with the extra point. What a way to end the half as a shocked Colts team and a jubilant Patriots team taking completely different scores.
And this is a play that should never be completed, actually. You've got guys down there, get up and bat the ball away. They let Tony Simmons go up. He's got 2 defenders on him, but they're behind him. You've got to have guys at the different levels. Tony Simmons is a guy waiting for the tip. There's nobody in front of him. He just goes up and makes the catch.
So Michael Bishop's first career NFL pass is a 44-yard touchdown pass. Unbelievable. It's 10-7 with the Patriots on top. Coming up next, the NASDAQ.com halftime report after this message and a word from your local CBS station. Surprising halftime score, Colts 10 and Patriots 10. Downstairs we go to Beasley Reese.
And thanks for your support of the
Coach Belichick, a tremendous momentum change at the end of the half. What'd you tell the guys? What adjustments?
Well, defensively, we got to stop giving up the big plays. We're giving up too many easy completions. And offensively, we've had a little problem with some one-man blitzes. So if we can get our protection straightened out, I think we can move the ball.
Thank you, Coach. Okay. Back upstairs.
All right, Beasley, thank you very much. Kevin Harlan alongside Daryl Johnston. Let's look now to this third and fourth quarter for the New England Patriots. What do you see?
Well, I think Beasley talked about it in the first half, the fact that both teams are doing a lot of different things, making each other adjust. I think one of the big adjustments they have to do, Bill Belichick talked about it, they're having trouble with the corner blitz, but also the blitz that New England is doing. Tarek Glenn is having some trouble with that one.
The Colts have been moving the ball well as you take a look through 30 minutes of football at some of the numbers here in the first half.
And the big thing is the sacks. And not only are they having a lot on each side, but at critical times. On Indianapolis's last drive before the half, a long drive starting at the 7-yard line. They get all the way down there, and Greg Spires has one big sack that forces the fumble. And then, of course, at the end of the half here, the long kickoff return by Tony Simmons that puts him in position to do the Hail Mary. And then they complete it. And it's a huge momentum change. It looked like it could be 14-3 going in at halftime, and all of a sudden a couple plays and it's 10-10.
So a surprise, and Michael Bishop with his first pass and first touchdown in the National Football League. And here we go, Biggie, in the second half as Peyton will leave it in the end zone. Right there, Peyton Williams, number 28. So a touchback out to the 20-yard line where it'll be first down and 10 yards to go. Colts come in 3-1. Patriots come in 1-4. As you take a look at Peyton Manning. The Colts are looking for their first win here since 1995.
And to be able to follow that up with a victory at Rich Stadium, and that goes back even farther, back to 1975, to be able to pull off wins at Rich Stadium and at Foxborough.
The Colts, who have won 8 of their last 9 road games, set up at the 20-yard line, first down and 10 with double tight ends. And they keep it on the ground as James reversing field and tackled from behind by McGinnis after a gain of 4.
And what great running backs are able to do, they're able to make yards when there's really nothing there. And they're trying to run outside to the right. Edgerrin James has the vision, has the cutback ability to come back to the left side and get you some positive yards, keeping you out of that second and long situation.
He really doesn't have a backup. They wanted Fred Lane, who then tragically was shot and killed. They wanted Abdul Kareem Al-Jabbar. He is now out for the season with the knee. So they have a rookie free agent, Kevin McDougal, out of Colorado State, the lone backup for James. Just inside the 24, second down and 6. Good play fake by Manning. Throws a dart to James at the 25, and gang tackled by Hamilton and Mitchell after a gain of 3. James, by the way, today 13 carries and 47 yards.
And he doesn't have the big numbers, but he's running hard. He's giving the Indianapolis Colts the ability to be able to throw their play action, because New England has to respect his running ability. He's a big play football player in the passing game and the running game. He can go the distance at any time.
And his role, you think, continues to evolve on this team.
It really does. And we haven't even seen him split outside yet of the empty backfield, which is something that will really put a lot of pressure on the New England defense.
27-yard line, third down and 3. Indy 2 of 5 on third downs today. Good block by Meadows across the middle to Payton. It's a first down up to the 37-yard line. Picks up 10 yards. That's his first catch this afternoon. Serwanga makes the tackle.
And here's another one of those easy passes that Bill Belichick was talking about. There's really nobody there. Comes right underneath. Coverage is behind. And those are the plays that he wants to eliminate, to tighten up that defense, make them work a little bit harder to complete these passes.
You take away the short passing game of the Colts, you take away a lot of their offense.
You really do. And I think a lot of people consider them a down-the-field football team, a big play offense, but they're very patient. They will nickel and dime you all the way down the field.
37-yard line, first and 10. Harrison on the move. James getting a block from Harrison, trying to cut the corner, and there's Chris Slade with the tackle, 53.
And I really, really like the strategy that Jim Moore is doing. He's continuing to run the football at him. He's continuing to pound at that New England defensive front. Eventually, he's going to be able to take his shot like we saw in the first half with Marvin Harrison, because he's just continuing to have that threat there. The New England defense has to respect Edgerrin James's running ability.
They certainly have a patient quarterback, too, in Peyton Manning. Second down, 8 on the 39. James in the backfield, the play fake by Manning. Here as he throws, going deep for Wilkins, and broken up by Otis Smith at the last second. Incomplete pass. Smith, who missed most of last year with the broken clavicle, released by the Jets, reeled in by Belichick. Big play here on Wilkins.
We'll watch Terrence Wilkins and Otis Smith. They will battle all the way down the field. A lot of hand checking going on, a lot of contact. I like that the official does not call this. This is just football. And right at the end, Terrence Wilkins has one slip right through his hands.
Undrafted free agent out of Virginia, Wilkins. Third down, 8. Colts at their own 39. Manning. Oh, they got double team on Spires. He's held up. The pass caught by Harrison. Brewski gets a hold of him. First down gain out to the 49. It's a gain of 10 on third down and 8.
And that's one of those situations where the defense has done a great job on the first 2 plays. You get them into that third and long. You think you've done your job, and it doesn't work. You'll see here the protection. Here's the double team that Kevin talked about. Steve McKinney there to help out Tarek Glenn. That gives Peyton the time to find Marvin Harrison.
Adjustments.
They continue to adjust throughout the course of the game.
7th play of the drive, up to the 49-yard line. Colts have it first and 10 and tied at 10 with New England. James, a bit of a hole, and whacked in the secondary by Larry Wiggum. And a gain of about 2. And see what some of the quarterback club members, like Warren Moon, Rich Gannon, and Donovan McNabb, had to say in their weekly diaries. only on NFL.com. Kevin Harlan, Darrell Johnston, Beasley Reese. Here as the clouds begin to gather overhead here at Foxborough, halfway between Boston and Providence. Beautiful, colorful New England. Second down and 9. Just into Patriot territory. See a blitz, now they back off on it. The pump fake. McGinnis just blocked the pass, and it was almost picked up by Kato Sirwanda. He had a sack last week in Denver. Almost had an interception right there. He's 2 years out of camp. Incomplete pass.
The top of the screen, Marvin Harrison, Peyton Manning, his go-to guy in critical situations. Maybe forced one right there. Is a little miscommunication. Marvin's continuing to come across. Peyton expected him to kind of shut it down in that little dead zone.
You see it's 39, right about midfield. Manning has hit 2 key third down passes on this drive. Can he make it 3? He sends James out as a receiver. Fires a pass. It's caught by Harrison inside the 35. Down to about the 31. Jones was there. It's a gain of 19 on 3rd and 9. And Manning has now hit 3 key third down passes on this drive.
And his go-to guy again, just like he tried to on the last play, is Marvin Harrison. You can see Ty Law passes him off to Bucky Jones, but Bucky's just a little bit late getting there. He makes that quick inside break, creates that separation for Peyton to find him.
Marvin Harrison now over 100 yards receiving in 8 of the last 10 games as Miami's got a 10-point lead on Buffalo and other scores. Inside the 32, the patient Manning hands off the chain. He tries to chisel some yards and does before Wiggum makes the tackle. Gain of 5.
And you just go back to what Peyton Manning talked to us about yesterday, the fact that when you go against a Bill Belichick team, you've got to be patient, you've got to be disciplined, and this is what this running game is. They're not even getting themselves into third downs where you think you can convert real easily. They're having to convert 3rd and 8s and 3rd and 9s, but they're still being able to do that.
And Darrell, a young Colt offense showing this patience to me is a little surprising, and good, in a good way.
In a very good way, and I think it all trickles down from Peyton Manning because he is so mature, and I think everybody senses his leadership qualities around him, and they play to his level.
Second down and 5 inside the 27. Good time, good blocking by Meadows. And to the side, just throwing it away because the coverage was so good by the New England Patriots. His Colt quarterback, Peyton Manning.
And he shows you the maturity there. There's nothing there. Don't force a bad throw. You've got a good drive going. Just throw the ball away, line up again, and take another shot.
Pathan will come in. Marcus Pollard will check out. You take a look at Peyton Manning. He's already thrown a touchdown pass today of 17 yards to Marvin Harrison. 6'5" and 24 years of age, and maybe the best quarterback in the NFL. Kurt Warner at St. Louis may have something to say about it, but in the AFC for 3rd down and 5. And a timeout taken defensively by the New England Patriots. So Manning will come over and talk with offensive coordinator Tom Moore in a tie ball game.
Welcome back to Foxborough, where the score is tied. Indianapolis 10, New England 10. Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator, him and his offensive staff will put together their playbook for the week and pass it out to the players on Wednesday morning. Peyton Manning shows up at 5 o'clock Tuesday evening to get a head start on the week's work.
He must not be married. 3rd, long 5, 12th play of the drive, 27-yard line. A block by Meadows, time for Manning, and across the middle, close to a 1st down. Sirwanga is on Jerome Pathan. Manning has converted 3, now make it 4 big 3rd down passes on this drive.
And there's Jerome Pathan in the slot, just coming on a little quick slant. He gets the separation. He gives Peyton the throwing lane, and he fits it in. There's that preparation, that work. These guys work harder in the offseason than a lot of people work in season. The guys that are coming to Indianapolis for the first time, Peyton Manning made the comment that they come out to practice, and they say, oh my gosh, I better lace up my shoes a little bit tighter. You guys are moving at pretty quick speeds.
You probably have this by the nose of a football. Maybe. Not close. Couple links shy. So, 4th and inches. Do you go for it if you're Tom Moore and Jim Mora?
Oh, that's a tough call at this stage of the second half. It's a very difficult football game. I think you take the 3 points, get the lead back. You had that big play at the end of the first half that really could have taken a lot of momentum out of you. You've established that back. take the 3 points, and get back to go to field position. But it looks like I'm wrong.
Well, they're going to go for it. Now, what would you call here on 4th and inches?
4th and inches, you got to go with Edgerrin James. They had that play last week on the goal line for the 2-point play against the Bills, and I was very impressed by his toughness inside. He never quit working. A lot of people thought his knee was down. He continued to work. I would go right back to that same play.
2 tight ends, 2 receivers. 13th play of the drive, 4th and inches inside the 22. James. And hard to see from that angle. Chad Eaton at the bottom of the pile along with Brandon Mitchell. He's got it, first down. Nudging just enough of that line, and he's a big body to be sending in.
And I may be a little bit biased on this one, but when you have a 3rd and short situation or a 4th down in inches, I really think you need that lead back in there. And being an old fullback, I might be a little bit biased, but when you go to the 2 tight ends and the 2 wide receivers, I think it makes it very difficult on Edgerrin James to be able to, all it takes is one guy to slip a block, and he doesn't have that extra guy there to make a hole.
I'm sure Emmitt Smith would agree with you. From the 21-yard line, it is a first down. Manning wants a timeout. So now the Colts have 2, the Patriots have 2, with just under 8 to play here in the 3rd quarter in a tie ball game. We're tied at 10 in Foxborough.
And this has been a critical drive for both teams. New England having the Hail Mary to score points to really change the complexion of the game coming out in the second half. Indianapolis responding offensively with a great drive down to this point. But let's see what happens in the red zone. This is an area where New England struggles and Indianapolis excels.
21-yard line, 1st and 10 after the James 4th and inches first down acquisition. Good blocking. There goes Manning across the middle, and the pass is caught for the first time today by tight end Marcus Pollard. Teddy Bruschi makes the tackle after the gain of 4 by the tight end H-back.
And it's interesting to hear Peyton Manning call Marcus Pollard the key to the success of this offensive football team. When you've got players like Marvin Harrison and Edgerrin James and Terrence Wilkins, but he says that Marcus Pollard is the key to their success because of his versatility, because of the way he can line up on the line of scrimmage and get into the backfield and do so many different things for this offense.
Manning passing on first down today, 8 of 8. Faced with 2nd down and 6 at the 17. There's the reverse, and it goes to Wilkins. The end around, and he is near a first down. Flag is down on the play across the way at about the 15-yard line. It's against the Colts.
Holding, 85, offense, 10 yards, repeat first down.
Ken Dilger, the tight end, picks up the penalty. Push the Colts back to the 25 of New England.
And that's one of the things that will really derail you in the red zone is penalties. It's hard enough to get positive yards in the red zone without taking penalties. To get the holding penalty, pushed back 10 yards, this really puts the Colts at a disadvantage.
Now 2nd down, 14 from the 25. Four-man rush. Here comes Spires again. A wobbly pass is lassoed by Peyton. Tackled by Sawanga. Flag has been thrown at the point of impact at about the 17-yard line. Face mask, late hit. What do you think?
This could be unsportsmanlike conduct, unnecessary roughness. I mean, I really don't. I think if that's what they're thinking, they should pick that flag up because I don't think that the receiver was off the playing field yet. Just a little incentive there at the end to throw him to the ground, making his point.
We've had no replays today for Walt Coleman to look at. Face mask is the call. It's against New England. Now let's see if it's the nickel and dime variety or the big one.
Incidental face mask on the defense, 5 yards, repeat 2nd down.
So they did catch a break there.
That was an awful long discussion for an incidental face mask. You can see right here, they're still doing those kind of, it looks like it was right at the line of scrimmage. It wasn't even in the play involved with us. You could see, well, there's another one there.
But incidental.
Take your pick.
Beasley, what do you have?
Hey, it happened right at my feet. I'm standing right here, and 2 thoughts. When Peyton threw the ball, the receiver hadn't even broken out yet. I thought he was throwing the ball to me. I mean, that's the confidence that he has. And then number 2, that was incidental. It's a good call. The DB just wrapped him up and threw him out of bounds, and it was inadvertent. Back upstairs.
All timing.
All timing, and that's the precision that you get when you spend that time working in the offseason as much as these guys work together.
17th play upcoming from the 13. Colts have it. 2nd down and 2. Howard is on the move. Manning is in the shotgun. The handoff goes to James following Howard, but the defense right there. Ted Johnson closed the door for no gain for Edgerrin James.
You can see right here, there's going to be one inadvertent face mask on the release here, and then there'll be another one at the end of the play. But there's the timing. There's the break. The ball is already in the air. That's great precision. It's such a feel, and you can only develop that feel through repetition, and that's what these guys are doing in the offseason, working together.
3rd down and 2. And the Colts at about the 13-yard line. Meadows a block. Manning the throw on the money. Peyton makes his third down reception on this drive. On 3rd and 2, he picks up 6. Servanga makes the tackle.
Here we are in the slot. We saw this earlier on a 3rd down play. He's just going up, bumping in the receiver, releasing inside. But the big part is he's creating that separation. He's given Peyton Manning that throwing lane to complete that pass.
Peyton's had a good day, and of course we talked about Manning spreading the ball around. He's at James, he's at Dilger, he's at Pollard, Harrison, Peyton, Wilkins, he's at everybody. 1st and goal from the 7. James running outside. Dilger was the lead block, and then came Chris Slade and Otis Smith along with Larry Wiggum. And a gain on the play of about 2 near the 5.
And this is one of the things that Jim Mora talked about. He really didn't feel confident in running the ball wide on this Patriot defense. And if you're going to be able to run the ball wide, you have to have a great block at the point of attack by the tight end. And Kent Dilger did a good job with Chris Slade last year, but it seems like this year that Chris Slade is getting the best of him today. He was the guy that was in on that play.
Blocking tight end and Mora's offense, a big deal.
Huge deal, and that's why you don't see the fullback in this system. That's why you see the tight ends working together, Marcus Pollard and Ken Dilger.
The 20th play of the drive. 2nd down goal at the 5. Manning swings it outside. Pollard the block. James the catch. Flags are down. Brewski the tackle along with Law. May have gotten as far as the 4, but the penalty flag is resting on the field. Another penalty against the Colts.
And we talked about it in the red zone. Very difficult to overcome these penalties in the red zone to score a touchdown. Interesting to see an offensive pass interference penalty called on a screen.
Pass interference, 88, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Such a short pass, you wouldn't think so.
Ball thrown behind the line of scrimmage. It's set up on timing. Marvin might have been just a little bit early on the contact, but that's one of those plays that's really touch and go.
Beasley Reese, what do you have?
Hey, guys, that happened at my feet as well. The receivers, including Marvin Harrison, were blocking downfield before the ball was thrown. It's a timing play where you set it up on the quick screen. They were blocking downfield before the receiver caught it. Back upstairs.
Thank you, Bees. 2nd down goal at the 15, 20th play of the drive. Manning to the air with time, goes on the sideline, looking for James, tailed by Brewski, incomplete pass. Let's see what Beasley was talking about as we take a look at the previous play.
And as Beasley mentioned, this is a timing screen. You saw Marcus Pollard come across in motion. Everything here is done on timing. There's the blocks. You can see that the ball wasn't thrown. You can see Edgerrin coming out. Here he comes into your screen right now. So both receivers actually blocking before the ball was thrown.
And a good call. Good call by the crew here, held by Walt Coleman. 15-yard line, 3rd and goal. Manning fires it back. The receiver didn't turn. That was Peyton. Incomplete pass. The Patriot defense playing stout defensively.
And this is going to be a big moral victory for the Patriot defense because this has been a very impressive drive with numbers and the amount of time, and they're going to walk away here with only giving up 3 points. It's going to be a big lift for them because of the way they come out in the second half, the way they ended that.
Player is down in the end zone. That's Marvin Harrison. You can see holding on to, it looks like, the area just beneath his left knee. A touchdown pass. Of course, he part of that great receiver class of Keyshawn Johnson, Terry Glenn, Eddie Kennison, Eric Moulds at Buffalo. Incredible catch. And we have an injury timeout late third quarter. New England's defense holds the Colts out of the end zone. 33-yard try by Vanderjagt, who kicked a 33-yarder late in the first half. And this is perfect. He has made now 34 of his last 35 field goals. The confident Vanderjagt gives the Colts a 13-10 lead. Vanderjagt field goal, 13-10 Colts. Falk and Redmond back, awaiting the Danny Kite kick. And it will be Falk at about the 5-yard line for New England. Whacked by Jim Finn and tackled by the reserve fullback Finn. The ex-Chicago Bear and the last guy selected in the '99 draft. He's out of Pennsylvania. Well, the Colts offense has run 36 of the last 37 plays from scrimmage. We'll have to reacquaint ourselves with Drew Bledsoe. And the Patriots first and 10. Falk is whacked by Coda. Picked up by Mark Thomas. And a gain of 7 on the play as we send it off to Fifth Avenue. Our NFL Today studios and Jim Nance.
All right, Kevin, staying inside the division. Bills at Miami, and the Dolphin defense doing it again. This time they stuffed Jonathan Linton. It's Jermaine Haley registering the safety. They've given up only 44 yards to the Bills so far and lead by a dozen. Let's go back to Kevin.
Hand off, thank you, Jim, on second down and 3. And a couple yards up the middle. Not a whole lot of running room for Kevin Falk. One note on that Miami game, Dolphins come in 4-1. They have only allowed 2 touchdowns all season. The defense allowing 7 points a game. Miami having the best mark in that category in the National Football League.
And scoring points as well.
Yes.
Just an unbelievable unit right now. And, you know, with the talk about St. Louis and everything they're doing offensively, I think they've been really overshadowed this year, the way they have played defense.
And they'll see just where they stand in terms of this run by Kevin Falk, and shy by a little less than a yard, perhaps.
And this is going to be a very critical 3rd and short to convert, because the Patriot defense was just on the field for over 10 minutes on that last Indianapolis drive. The offense cannot afford to come out and go 3 and out. They've got to give that defense some time to rest.
That's exactly what they're doing, as Bill Belichick is over there dealing with the defense. Offense being handled by Charlie Weiss. In fact, Weiss has been at 3 different places with Belichick: Giants, Patriots, and Jets. Here's Charlie, 3rd down and 1. Near the 33. They've got to get outside the 33. Redmond in the backfield along with Tony Carter. Bjornsson on the move. Play action by Bledsoe. Being chased on the play. Throws a first down pass to fullback Tony Carter. Bledsoe was flushed from the pocket by Chad Cota, but he held his ground. Gets 3 on the pass and a Patriot first down.
And this could really be one of his biggest completions this afternoon, because you're going to see Chad Cota in the mix coming up inside. He's going to be right in Drew Bledsoe's face, but Drew does a good job of finding the open guy, and that is a huge conversion on 3rd down to give that defense a little bit of time to catch their breath.
Outside the 35, 1st and 10. Falk in the backfield gets the pitch. Armstrong one block. A broken tackle of Ellis Johnson, and Chad Cota stops Falk after a gain of about 9. Downstairs we go to Beasley Reese.
I have a report on Marvin Harrison. He has a cramp in his left calf. He will return. He was never in pain. I watched the trainers do deep massage. He's getting heat treatment right now. Will return back upstairs.
And he is important, maybe because they've been spreading the ball out more. They've got more options on offense. Not the impetus of their offense, but nonetheless a very important guy. Miami on top. Pittsburgh in the surprise over the Jets. 3rd quarter there. 2nd down, 1 here from the 45. And goes off to Felt, dancing his way into the secondary of the Colts and finally brought down by Chad Cota and also by Jason Belzer. A gain of 18, the best run today by New England. Bledsoe had one earlier in the game for 16.
You can really see this offensive line really starting to get together. This is what it takes to be able to run the football effectively. You've got to know the guy next door to you. You've got to be able to have faith in him that everybody's going to do the same thing. And you're seeing that today. This is the best that they have run the football all season.
You take a look at Damian Woody, a first-round pick a season ago from the Colt 37. First and 10. The flea flicker. Felt pitches it back. Bledsoe, who is being chased by Burris, throws it incomplete downfield to Glenn. Second down and 10.
And here comes that corner blitz again. It gave him fits the whole first half. Bill Belichick talked about having problems with the one-man blitz, and they still haven't solved it. He's got Jeff Burris right in his face. There he goes, right off of Terry Glenn. It's a flea flicker, so there can't be an adjustment. It's one of those things where the play is called at a perfect time. You work the ball down to this point. You want to take a shot at the end zone with a gadget play, and they have a blitz that disrupts everything.
And still Bledsoe is not thrown to Troy Brown today. Second down and 10. Dumps it across the middle, going underneath to Fulton. Second and 10 play, picks up 5. And he is down to about the 32. But no Troy Brown, who was so much a part of last week's early offense in Denver.
He really was, and it was so important for them to get out to that quick lead, to take that crowd out, and Troy Brown was able to do that for Drew Bledsoe. And on short passes, making some big runs after the catch, it's surprising not to see him a part of this offensive game plan yet today.
J.R. Redmond is checked in, the rookie. Third-round pick out of Arizona State. Third down 5, 32-yard line of the Colts. Empty backfield for Bledsoe. You see a blitz?
You empty your backfield, you're going to get blitzed.
Here they come. Bledsoe quickly to the side. Pass is caught finally by Troy Brown. There they finally go to him. Crowd with all kinds of cheers there. A gain of 10 by Bledsoe to Brown.
And this is the guy that a lot of people feel is the MVP for the Patriots the last 2 years. He does a lot in the return game. He's gotten himself into the starting lineup. And as you pointed out last week, a huge game to get them jump-started in Denver.
This lengthy drive by New England comes after a 22-play drive by Indianapolis. Inside the 23, first and 10 for Bledsoe. Going outside, that pass is caught. A twirling grab made by Redmond, who flies down the sideline. He's inside the 5, a gain of 17. First and goal to go, New England Patriots.
And New England does a good job finally of picking up that blitz. And they have the time to go out and find J.R. Redmond in the flat. Drew Bledsoe goes back. He's got the confidence that everything's going to be picked up. And there's J.R. Redmond just slipping out into the flat. Nobody there on him. And watch the effort at the end trying to get to that pylon to try and get that touchdown.
Max Lane began the game today at right guard, but they have put in a sign. First and goal inside the 3, 10th play of the drive. And it's Redmond again. He caught a touchdown pass last week in Denver. Lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
And penetration on the goal line will kill your play. And you'll see on the left side of the offensive line, they had penetration. It forced J.R. Redmond to go to the other side.
Charlie Weiss calling the plays and a good look in orchestration so far. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. Colts 13, Patriots 10. We'll return to Foxborough Stadium right after this message and a word from your local CBS station. With Daryl Johnson, Beasley Reese, Kevin Harlan, Foxborough Stadium at the 2. It is second down and goal. A lengthy drive by Drew Bledsoe. Jason Anderson, number 67, is coming as a third tight end. 11th play of the drive. Redmond in the backfield with Carter. The pump fake. Here comes Cota. The pass in the end zone. Caught by Bjornsson.
Eric Bjornsson coming across in motion. Here he goes. He flashes. Little play fake. Finds a nice open spot in the end zone. Good concentration on the catch. Nice to see an old teammate getting 6 points.
That's right. They blitzed Coda, so they gambled a bit on defense. Now Vinatieri with the extra point. And the New England Patriots on top of the Indianapolis Colts, 17-13. Bledsoe throwing his 8th touchdown pass of the season. Drew Bledsoe on that drive, 5 of 6 through the air, hitting 5 different receivers, a 2-yard touchdown pass to his tight end, and the subsequent kickoff to the Colts, picked up by the rookie Peyton Williams. He's out of Fresno State, and his head ripped off by Bucky Jones. Let's go back to the touchdown pass by Bledsoe to Bjornsson.
We got an opportunity to see the catch, but watch the throw by Drew Bledsoe. You talk about a little savvy from your quarterback. He's got Chad Cota right in his face. Watch this throw. It is very unconventional, but it is unbelievable. That's just, you can't improvise any better than that. That's just a great play by Drew Bledsoe.
Bledsoe had 4 touchdowns last week. Now let's see how Manning will counter from the 16. First down and 10 yards to go. The fake to James. Buys him time. Here comes Mitchell. There goes the pass. Flag is thrown. Incomplete. Wilkins was in his sights. We told you earlier today that Peyton Manning talked to Brian Griese, the Denver quarterback.
Holding, 24, defense, 5 yards, automatic, first down.
On the foul because New England played Denver last week and wanted some hints on how he could attack the Patriots today.
And here we'll see this last play. You can see the hold right there. It's early in the route. An obvious hold by Otis Smith. A good call by the official.
All the penalties for the Patriots today, which number 4, all on the defense. So, move it to the 21. Manning, first down and 10. What a competitor Peyton Manning is.
He really is. And both of these quarterbacks, I mean, we saw it in Drew Bledsoe on that last touchdown pass, and I really think that Peyton Manning is out of that same mold.
Hand off to James. Stopped by Eaton and Mitchell for a 1-yard gain. So it'll bring up second down and 9, and tonight on 60 Minutes, Tina Sinatra on her father's last days. The woman she wishes he had married and what he and the mob did for Jack Kennedy. Interesting. Tonight on 60 Minutes on CBS. Kevin Harlan, Daryl Johnston, Beasley Reese, and our entire CBS crew. Second down and 9. It's been a good game.
It's been a fantastic game.
Outside is 22. Manning second down and 9. Glenn the block. The pass is caught by the twisting and turning Terrence Wilkins. Close to a first down and brought down by Otis Smith, who starts today for Antonio Langham.
And here we see him releasing off the line. Earlier in the game, they were trying to get jams on the receivers. Now they're playing a little bit of a buzz coverage coming off, giving him that free release, turning back, giving him that open angle for the completion.
Third down and 1. Miami still on top, and Pittsburgh has extended their lead on the New York Jets, who came in as the only undefeated AFC team today. Outside the 30, 31. Pollard blocking. There's a lead man from James. It's going to be very tight. Bruschi, along with Ted Johnson and Brandon Mitchell, all had a hand in the tackle.
And there's that penetration again on the goal line and in short yardage. You can't have penetration. That will disrupt the entire play. The defensive line and the linebackers of the Patriots doing a good job of getting upfield, pushing that line of scrimmage back.
You know, the Patriot defensive line, almost a different style of player. They're really not from the same mold, are they?
They really are. They're very different all the way across the board. When you look at the Indianapolis defensive line, you can see some similarities with Bill Belichick's style when he came in here, and that's why he brought Bobby Hamilton in, because Bobby Hamilton was with him at the New York Jets. He knows how to play this style of defense. For Willie McGinnis and Chad Eaton, it was a big adjustment for them. And Bobby Hamilton, a guy who was going to let everybody else know how to play this new scheme, actually becomes a big player for him.
So they did pick up the first down, approaching 13 minutes to play in the fourth. Colts played from behind last week late and won. From the 31, first and 10. Fake to James. Great time for Manning. Sideline pass to James, and it's incomplete. Coverage by Ted Johnson. Second down and 10 upcoming as we send you to Jim Nance on 5th Avenue.
All right, the only undefeated team in the AFC is the New York Jets, but maybe not for long, Kevin, because Cordell Stewart has thrown the first touchdown pass of the season for the Steelers. Bobby Shaw with the catch, and they're up 14 fourth quarter. Let's go back to Kevin and Darryl.
All right, thank you. The Jets need Belichick's defense. He was the defensive coordinator for him last couple years.
Unbelievable that that's Pittsburgh's first touchdown pass of the season.
Second down, 10, just outside the 31. James on the block. Tarek Glenn. Harrison picking up 5 yards. He's well shy of 100 yards on the day. 65 yards, 22 carries for last year's sensation Edgerrin James. Tom Moore trying to even get him more involved in the passing attack.
Yeah, and they've done some different things with Edgerrin this year, and it's a lot of that because of how he worked in the offseason. We talked a lot about the way they work, but I'm surprised that I haven't seen him break the formation and get into that empty backfield set with him in the slot or outside as the wide receiver.
Shy of the 36, third down and 5, Manning in the shotgun. Here comes Spires again. He's hounded Manning all day long in the pass with a flag thrown, bobbled and incomplete to Jerome Payton. He was in a thicket of Patriot defenders. Flag is down to Bucky Jones. Was just one of the 3 around him. Hold against New England. Another Patriot defensive penalty. That'll be number 5.
Boy, when you work that hard to keep this offense from converting a third down.
24, defense, 5 yards, automatic, first down.
24 is the beleaguered Ty Law.
And you just turn around and give it to him on a penalty. You see Ty Law here.
Law was beaten in the first quarter on a touchdown pass to Harrison.
And kind of an obvious one right there. Kind of interesting what Marvin Harrison did when he came out, like he was coming off the ball, stopped, and when he went to go back, Ty really had no choice but to get a handful of jersey.
Outside the Colt 40, they've got it first down and 10. Shy of the 41. James. Stacked up again. Otis Smith. 11 years out of Missouri. He's played for the Eagles, Jets, Patriots, Jets, and he's the kind of guy that you talk about Bobby Hamilton extending the feel of the Jet defense here to New England. Here's another guy he brought in to usher in the changeover.
And Otis Smith starting today for Antonio Langham. That's how much he brings to the defense, the knowledge that Bill Belichick wants to do in his different schemes. And he's one of the guys that the other people in the secondary can look to, just like the defensive lineman can look to Bobby Hamilton.
Good day for Smith. Second down 11. Colts at their own 40. Approaching 11 minutes to play. Pocket crumbles. Here goes Manning. Has to get past midfield. A flag has been thrown. Tackle was made by Malloy and by David Nugent, who is a rookie. Got now a couple pieces of yellow on the field. Another defensive penalty. 6 on Belichick's defense.
Holding, 45, defense, 5 yards, automatic, first down.
Here's Otis Smith right here. They're getting beat quick at the line of scrimmage with the little moves, and then they're reaching and grabbing. And you know, we talked about the switch-ups. They were coming up and jamming, and then they were buzzing off and letting them with the easy release off the line of scrimmage. And that time, Otis coming up to give a jam at the line of scrimmage, misses him, but he grabs the shirt for first down.
Inside the 48 of the Patriots. Colts first down and 10. The fake to James. Time for Manning. Down the middle, throws, and it's dropped by tight end Marcus Pollard. And he, too, is covered heavily. Lawyer Malloy putting his signature on him as the Colts, Daryl Johnston, have dropped 4 passes today.
And this is very uncharacteristic for the Indianapolis Colts. And there's Marcus Pollard going right down the middle. He's matched up with Ted Johnson, one of the mismatches that they would like to get. A beautifully delivered ball by Peyton Manning, but Marcus Pollard can't hold on.
Belichick thinks Malloy is the smartest guy in his defense.
Well, he asks him to do an awful lot of things. He'll be playing linebacker, safety, cornerback. He's the guy that he really feels represents what he wants to achieve with this defense.
2nd and 10 from the 48 of New England. Manning, again given great time. That's deflected by Johnson and intercepted by Ty Law. It is a pickoff and Manning's first interception today. First turnover of the game.
And as you called it, Kevin, there's going to be a deflection at the line of scrimmage, or actually at the linebacker level. And this is something that the Broncos had a lot of success with last week. Ted Johnson getting up to deflect the ball, and there comes the interception.
And the Patriots lead 17-13. Kevin Harlan, Darrell Johnston, Beasley Reese, and Foxborough. You can see AFC East, maybe the deepest division in football. Jets are losing. Miami is winning. Colts are losing. Buffalo down to Miami, and New England on top here by 4.
By far the most competitive division in the NFL.
On the 39-yard line, first down and 10. Bledsoe play action. Good block by Grant Williams. Buys time and a pass outside for Glenn. That's a gain of 14 yards to Terry Glenn. First down.
We'll see if New England can deliver a knockout punch here on this drive. The defense went out, got the big turnover, put them in good field position. This is a huge drive for the New England Patriots offense to get down there. Terry Glenn starting it off right here with a little inside move and then breaking back out to the sideline.
Glenn with a couple receptions today. First down and 10 inside the Colt 47. Bledsoe gives it off to Fulton, and he's tripped up and taken down by Ellis Johnson. We haven't talked about 6'2" Ellis Johnson very much, a former first-round pick out of Florida. Gain of about a yard on the play.
And Indianapolis just continues to play strong defense. You mentioned Ellis. Chad Bratsky, another player we really haven't talked much about today. The big people in this Indianapolis Colts defense, that's why this is such a good team, because they don't have a lot of superstars. They've just got a lot of guys that play really well together.
Bratsky, we just saw him. He plays at a high level every play. Second down 9 inside the 46. Play action to Fulton, who gives a block to Bledsoe that buys him time to hit Glenn downfield for a first down. Tackled by Burris. It's a gain of 16 yards. Terry Glenn wears that protective shield because of an eye injury in 97.
And both of the receivers now getting into the flow. We talked about Terry Glenn not being involved, having 2 big catches already on this drive. Getting back to that short passing game that was so effective for him in Denver last week, and the receivers doing a good job of running after the catch.
Glenn taking more of a leadership role on this team. Bledsoe has hit his last 6 from the Colt 30 and Falk in the backfield. First and 10. 2 timeouts for both teams. Outside, there's Terry Glenn again. Another grab. He came in 2 today as the 4th leading receiver in the AFC. Picks up 9, but leadership now. He thinks, I guess, in his 5th year that he needs to exude a little bit more of a voice with this ball club.
And I think it's a question of a guy finding his place on the team. You can't come in immediately and be a vocal guy. But Terry Glenn, now entering his 5th year, feels that it is his position to step up on the offensive side of the ball, along with Drew Bledsoe, and assume some leadership responsibilities.
Second down 1, near the 21. Bjornsson, who caught a touchdown pass earlier on the move, offers a block, and here comes Redmond, followed by Ellis Johnson. Tennessee leading Cincinnati in the 4th quarter. Bengals still winless. And Philadelphia on top of Washington. New Staley is out, so they're having to go some other directions with their running attack. And Detroit giving Green Bay all they can handle. Detroit has won 6 of the last 7 over the Packers in Pontiac. Chicago, I thought they'd be better than 1-4.
I think a lot of people felt that Chicago would be a competitive team this year.
Near the 22, 3rd down and 2 for Bledsoe. You see a Bledsoe? No.
Looks like Mike Peterson's coming.
Here he comes, picked up by Fulton. There's the pass. Dropped. Troy Brown had it and was drilled on the play by Ray Burris. Incomplete pass.
And that's one of those plays that that'll keep you from stretching out for a pass a little bit later in the game. You can see him here in the slot. He's coming out. They've got a blitz. This is an adjustment, but a great play by Jeff Burris to pass his man up after he sees the ball thrown and puts a lick on Troy Brown.
So the Colt defense holds. It's a fake, and Lee Johnson goes outside, and it's caught by the tight end Bjornsson, who picks up a first down. The Colts were still trying to align their field goal unit. The Patriots with the quick snap, and Lee Johnson, a former high school quarterback, goes outside and gets Bjornsson, the tight end.
You can see right here, there's nobody out there with Eric Bjornsson. A little rope-a-dope right there. Looks like they're struggling to get the field goal team on. Eric Bjornsson with 2 big plays in this half.
Interesting call by Brad Seeley, the special teams coach of New England. First and goal at the 4. The fake to Paul Bledsoe to the end zone. Tapped. Ricochet. Touchdown. What a catch by Glenn.
Terry Glenn at the top of your screen is going to come down in. He slips past the coverage, but watch the concentration at the end of the catch. He's juggling a little bit. Look at the athletic ability to get the feet back in bounds.
That is absolutely sensational.
That's just a tremendous job at the end of the catch.
If you're the Colts, would you like to challenge that? Did he have complete control of the ball?
You know, I think he had control of the ball. The only thing I might seem questionable right there is maybe his right foot didn't get down. He was stretching that toe out, but maybe it didn't get down onto the ground.
But the Colts are down to 2 timeouts, so if they lose that challenge, they would lose a timeout, and they may need it because now they're down by even more. Extra point by Vinatieri.
Let's take one more look. You can see he's bobbling a little bit right there, but now he gains control. He's got them both in.
And Ron Spittler was right there, the umpire. Terry Glenn just got a touchdown pass after a fake field goal. 4 catches on that drive by Glenn. 8 for the day. Patriots' biggest lead of the day. And the kickoff by Vinatieri. Deep back, Peyton and Williams. And this will be Peyton. Grabbed by Tafeki Jones and taken down at the 21. So now the spotlight is firmly on Peyton Manning. 8 fourth-quarter comebacks in his 3 years. Does he have another one left after last week in Buffalo? Kevin Harlan, along with Darrell Johnston and Beasley Reese. 2 touchdowns today by Bledsoe through the air. New England has scored 14 unanswered points. Now on the stage is Peyton Manning. First down and 10 at his 21. Down 24-13. Here comes McGinnis. And a little shuttle pass going incomplete to Harrison across the middle. Bruschi was there defending, but McGinnis broke up the play.
Willie McGinnis going upfield as Peyton steps up. He continues to pressure the quarterback, comes back and puts the pressure on. Peyton Manning trying to ad-lib a little bit at the end. Here's Willie coming upfield. Great bull rush. Just drives the tackle all the way back into the pocket and still able to come back underneath. Adam Meadows, a guy who's been battling pneumonia all week, out there playing his heart out.
Manning is faltering a bit, only one of his last 7. Second down 10 from his own 21. Going outside here, bobbled and dropped by tight end, normally the reliable Ken Dilger. Incomplete pass. And tonight on 60 Minutes, Tina Sinatra on her father's last days. The woman she wishes that her dad hadn't married, and what he and the mob did for Jack Kennedy. Tonight on 60 Minutes, followed by the season premiere of Touched by an Angel and the CBS Sunday night movie Personally Yours. All tonight on CBS. 3rd and 10. 6 defensive backs in for New England. From the 21 for Manning. With time, fires it, dropped again. Edgerrin James and Teddy Bruschi was all over the Colt running back. And 3 and out for Indianapolis as Manning has gone 1 for his last 9 through the air.
And the New England Patriot defense not choosing to blitz or to pressure Peyton Manning. They only rushed 3 defenders, dropped 8 back in coverage. Teddy Bruschi matched up with Edgerrin James, does a great job in coverage.
Hunter Smith, number 1 punter in the NFL, will go to Troy Brown. Smith back inside his 10, and Brown back at his own 35. Wiggum was rushing, almost got a hand on the punt. He drive all the way back to the 18-yard line. And Scioli finally puts his arms around Brown. Brad Scioli, 2 years out of Penn State. 61-yard punt by Smith. Patriots on top. Back in Foxborough, Patriots on top, 24-13. Kevin Harlan alongside Daryl Johnston. All right, the Patriots have scored 3 touchdowns the last 3 possessions. What about the Colts here?
The Colts defense has to come out and make a 3-and-out stop. They've got to get the ball back to their offense. They need 2 scores to get back into this football game.
First down and 10 yards to go for Bledsoe, being chased by Ellis Johnson. Goes down the sideline, incomplete, zeroing in on Glenn, who was covered on the play by Tyrone Poole. Second down and 10. Bledsoe in the second half has been great. Touchdown, possession, each of the 3. Bledsoe in the second half, 9 of 12, with 2 of those touchdowns.
And that Hail Mary at the end of the first half really changed the complexion of this football game. Actually, the combination of the defensive stop and then the great return and Hail Mary really gave New England a tremendous amount of confidence coming out this second half.
On the 33, second down and 10. J.R. Reagan, a block from Armstrong, and then wrapped up by Braxton. Gets out to about the 37-yard line, picking up 4.
And even the wide receivers getting involved in the blocking game here. A little toss sweep with a crackback and the tackle getting out in front. But this is what the Patriots want to do. They want to stay in bounds. They want to take time off this clock. This is going to be an important third down for them to convert at. But to be able to run the football, if you catch the ball, stay in bounds, make the Indianapolis Colts either take a timeout to stop that clock or lose their ability to have more time.
Redskins came back to tie Philly, and Detroit stomping on Green Bay. Saw Pittsburgh leading handily over the Jets. Third down 6 from the 37. Blocked by Redmond. The blitz is on. The pass goes errant, incomplete. Really not a receivable than 10 yards. Tony Blevins. And a guy over there. 3-and-out for the New England Patriots.
Well, the Indianapolis Colts defense does their job by going 3-and-out, but that same blitz that has been giving Drew Bledsoe and the Patriot offense problems all day long, that corner blitz coming from the outside, they really have not adjusted to that throughout the course of the football game.
Wilkins deep back inside the 25 for Indianapolis. You see Lee Johnson set the punt from about his own 25. Johnson, number 3 all-time in number of punts. 16 years in the NFL, and a nice first down pass on a fake field goal earlier in the game. Fair clock back at the 20 by Wilkins. 43-yard punt by 38-year-old Lee Johnson. That's Jim Morgan up his sleeve.
Oh, no, they were able to pull one out last week, but I tell you, this is some dire straits right here. Just a little over 5.5 minutes left in the game, and they need 2 scores.
2 timeouts for the Colts. 2 timeouts for the Patriots from the 21, first and 10. Here comes Henry Thomas. Manning wisely throws it away. Up at the 10. Gilger on the side, incomplete.
And Henry Thomas getting the pressure here. Willie McGinnis walking up. Look at the spin move by Henry Thomas. I mean, the athletic ability of these big defensive linemen nowadays is just so impressive.
They seem to change their defensive front every week, a la Belichick's expertise in defense.
And that's why Peyton Manning had to spend so much time in the film room this week. He saw something different every week and knew that he was going to have something new for him today.
21-yard line, second down and 10. Here comes McGinnis, bottom of your screen, a pass which may have deflected off the back of the oncoming Henry Thomas. Incomplete, looking for the running back, James. The penetration much more prevalent now for New England.
And you can really see it starting to affect Peyton Manning in his composure back in the pocket. There he rushed that little screen pass to Edgerrin James. You talked about the different schemes, the different fronts that he's having to face. They're starting to get more pressure on him. And right there, a great demonstration of that, the fact that he was a little bit rushed on that screen pass. Third down and 10.
on the Colts 21. Manning trying to hold off McGinnis. Winds up. Going deep and intercepted for a second consecutive week to Bucky Jones. He gets a block and Hanson Moore is finally doused at the 42-yard line of Indianapolis. Manning throws his second interception of the day. And to Bucky Jones, who had his first career interception last week at Denver, picks up one for a second consecutive week. And he gives, on top of that, the Patriots outstanding field position.
And this could be a position right here where you're trying to make too much happen when you have a little bit of time left. You can see that he's double covered at the end of that play. Peyton Manning was flushed out of the pocket. And we'll see right here as the pressure comes in, he's going to step to his left. I think he's just trying to make something happen here. It's late in the game. An ill-advised throw. There's great coverage on that play right there. Similar to what happened in the Oakland Raider game earlier this year when they came back and beat Indianapolis. He tried to make a big play at the end of that 2-minute situation.
Colts haven't won here since 1995. On the 42, first and 10. Rookie J.R. Redmond. Nice block by Isaiah, and that gets him a first down. Max Lane started the game at right guard. He was quickly yanked by Isaiah. 72, the right guard, who had a nice lead block right there for the rookie J.R. Redmond.
And we talked about at the top of the broadcast the fact that the offensive line was really finally starting to gel, and I was really surprised to see Max Lane in the lineup because all the talk this week was how well they had played last week, and they really felt that was because they had 3 weeks to start playing together to gel as an offensive unit. So I was surprised to see Max in there, and I'm not surprised to see the change.
For the 14-yard gain on the 28, first and 10. Redmond flat by Jason Belson. Game at 3. New England has 120 yards rushing today. It's been a big factor for their success. Bledsoe 2 touchdown passes. Coming up next, most of you will see the Oakland Raiders at San Francisco. Other games, Denver, San Diego, Carolina hosting Seattle, Cleveland at Arizona. All next on Doubleheader Sunday on CBS. Right out of the 25-yard line, each team with 2 timeouts left. Second down and 7. Redmond, nice penetration by Chad Bratsky. No gain on the play. Bratsky's made more of an impact here defensively in the second half.
And you talked about his motor always running during the course of the football game. Even in a situation like this, he's still going 100%. He's going to wear you down, and that's what Bill Belichick was worried about, the fact that he would just wear his opponent down during the course of the game. Makes a lot of big plays late in the game.
Player is down for the Colts. I'm having a hard time seeing the number. Colts took a timeout. But there's not, is it Whittington maybe?
Can only catch the 5. 95, yes.
Bernard Whittington. Well, we break in our new partner, Daryl Johnston, today here in our booth in Foxborough. And, of course, known by fans across the country and around the world as Moose. 3 championships with the Dallas Cowboys. Nice block by Larry Allen, and a good block there by Daryl Johnston. And he did score from time to time. Nice catch.
Thank you.
Nice catch.
Occasionally got to get into the end zone. I kid Emmett about it. The difference in the amount of touchdowns we've scored as a halfback and a fullback. I think there's about 137 touchdown difference.
Michael Bishop is in. 3rd down and 7. Outside the 25. Bishop threw a touchdown pass earlier in the day. Being chased by Josh Williams. Evades him. As he runs outside, he is finally brought down by Cornelius Bennett, 97.
Not a great design play. It didn't really work out that well, but the one thing that Michael Bishop did, he was very smart. He stayed in bounds. He didn't throw the incomplete. He didn't force anything. Field goal situation from where they were before would have been kind of iffy, so I think this is a good play. He forces Indianapolis to either call the timeout or let the clock keep running.
Because of that play, the Patriots probably went from like a 43-yard to a 49-yard field goal attempt. So defensively it paid off. Clock continues to tick. And they will take a delay of game penalty, and now we'll see if the Colts accept it.
And in this situation, I wouldn't. I would force the punting team to execute on a short field.
Delay. Offense, 5 yards. 4th down.
Johnson has had a good day punting. 3:31 to play in the 4th quarter. Terrence Wilkins is positioning himself back at about the 10-yard line. So obviously the pooch punt attempt, Lee Johnson has probably done about 500 of these in his career. If he does pin the Colts back, it would really put a nice finish. And this one is going to be inside the 10, and then off the fingertips of Wiggum, and ricochets into the end zone. Bucky Jones was there as well, 36-yard punt. Had they caught it, it would have been down. I thought Wiggum was the one to touch it.
And just a little bit of miscommunication. Both guys trying to make that play there, bumping into each other. That ball goes in. That's kind of a big play right there, because you're looking at 1st and goal at the 2 as opposed to, or 1st and 10 at the 2 as opposed to 1st and 10 at the 20.
Well, we came into today saying there are a couple games every season that will define a team. The Colts felt that. Last week's win at Buffalo was one of them for them. The Patriots were hoping the same for their win last week at Denver, and as it's turning out, indeed it may have had ramifications beyond last week. On the 21st and 10, Colts have one timeout. Manning throwing a pass, caught by Peyton. Forward progress takes him up to the 24 on a gain of 4.
And they will give them anything they want underneath. They will let them complete the short passes. They will keep the offense inbounds, keep that clock running. The one thing they don't want to do is let them complete sideline outs or anything deep at this point.
6 defensive backs, 2nd down, and 6. Manning fires a pass, almost picked off on the play by nickel linebacker Andy Katzenmoyer. It seems to be a role he is thriving in as a nickel back.
And you don't expect a guy of Andy Katzenmoyer's size to be your nickel linebacker, but what a great job right there, because he had an open lane to Marvin Harrison.
Drew Bledsoe has thrown 2 touchdown passes, 14 unanswered points by New England in the second half. 3rd down, short 6 on the 25 for the Colts. Peyton Manning has thrown 2 interceptions. And this pass floating, caught by Edgerrin James down the side and out of bounds. Banged out the play by Bucky Jones. A gain of 31, stopping the clock with 2:45, and the Colts trying to nurse one timeout.
I was impressed by the pass that Drew Bledsoe made for the touchdown to Eric Bjornsson, but this one is even better than that. He's got pressure in his face, he's going backwards, and he's able to lead Edgerrin so he catches his ball in stride. You'll see here as he moves to his right, the pressure. This ball is thrown well before Edgerrin even turns upfield. He doesn't even have to break stride to make that catch. That is an unbelievable throw.
On the Patriot 44, 1st down and 10. Playing with the block in time for Manning, and the pass outside to Wilkins. A seductive move on Antoine Harris, a rookie, and finished off by Katzenmoyer. The clock continuing to roll. Colts with one timeout, Patriots with 2, a gain of 9 right there.
Yeah, and I think he might have wanted to get out of bounds on that one. He stops, cuts back inside. He only gains 1 more yard, but he's losing a lot of valuable time.
On the 35, 2nd down and 1. More great time from Manning. Dumps it across the middle, intercepted, and picked off here by the rookie Antoine Harris. His first career interception, the rookie from Virginia. Minnick sealed the Patriot upset over the Colts today. Interceptions of Colt quarterback Peyton Manning.
And again, it's the pressure by the front. And they're only rushing 3 guys. They're dropped. Well, there's a 4th guy. I apologize. There's the pressure. He steps up. He tries to throw a touch pass. He's not going to get a lot of zip on that ball. Antoine Williams cuts underneath for the interception. You can see here Peyton's looking for a receiver downfield. He steps up. He tries to touch throw this ball in there so he doesn't have the zip on it. He's able to undercut the receiver and make the interception.
Coming in, one of the storylines today, the Bill Belichick defense against Peyton Manning. Belichick known for his expertise in the defensive side. The rookie J.R. Redmond takes it. Quick timeout will be taken. Peterson with the tackle. And he's still working the defensive players across the way.
And he will continue to work them. It goes back to what Beasley talked about in the first half of the football game, that they were making adjustments. This has been a big chess match between Tom Moore and Bill Belichick. And Peyton had told us about how you had to be disciplined and patient because he's going to give you so many different things. And you just knew that coming into this game that he knew it wouldn't be like last week. There was going to be a lot of different things that were going to transpire.
We saw Peyton Manning, 3 interceptions today, all in the second half. That ties a career high. Looks like the Patriots are alive, and let's take a look. The Jets have lost. Tennessee's about ready to beat Cincinnati. Miami was on top, and you see a tie. Washington's come back to tie Philadelphia late in the fourth quarter there. Detroit all over the Packers will drop to 2 and 4. Second down and 11 from the 30. And a big hole slithering through is J.R. Redmond. Jason Belzer makes the stop, which will take us to the 2-minute warning. The New England Patriots have beaten the Indianapolis Colts 7 of the last 8 games, making 8 of 9. 2-minute warning. Manning's 3 interceptions have fueled the New England Patriots today outside the 36. 3rd down and 5. Bledsoe with the rookie in the backfield, Redmond. And a pass outside incomplete, looking for Tony Simmons. Not only returned the kickoff 39 yards, but caught a desperation Hail Mary 44-yard touchdown pass at the beginning of halftime. His time was running out. 0-0 on the clock. He caught it from Michael Bishop, and you can see the standings coming into today. Miami has won. The Jets have lost. The Colts are racing for their second loss of the season. Looks like the New England Patriots are edging their way back into this race.
And the big thing is their next opponents are all divisional opponents over the next 3 weeks with the bye. They have the Jets, they have Indianapolis again, then they get their bye, and then they have the Buffalo Bills. So they can really get back into the thick of things in the AFC East.
Lee Johnson's punt is away, landing at the 30, and Bucky Jones and Larry Wiggum are down at the 21-yard line. The Colts, unlike last week when they had all 3 of their timeouts, 68 seconds with which to work, and within striking distance of Buffalo, Manning has no timeouts, down by 10 with 1:46 to play.
And last week it was a situation where on the sideline, Peyton Manning got the offensive group together. He spoke to them, hey, if we go out there this time and the defense doesn't hold, they give up the points, I want to be ready to get back out on the football field. A much different scenario this week, but he has been pushing too hard in the last 2 drives. We'll see if he's a little bit more patient, but I think the time has run out on that.
Let's say down by 10, down by 11. 1st and 10. Drop ball, another drop pass, this time by Adrian James. There have been a lot of drop balls today. 6 by our unofficial count up here.
And it's been very uncharacteristic for the Indianapolis Colts in the second half. The interceptions by Peyton Manning, the drop balls, and they have been throughout the offense. Ken Dilger, Marcus Pollard, Edgerrin James, people that you wouldn't expect. The big players need to rise up in these situations, and it seems like they've been very uncharacteristic of the way they've played.
Colts have turned it over 3 of the last 4 possessions. 2nd down and 10 outside. Bass caught for a 1st down by Marvin Harrison. Gain of 12. Patriots next 8 games.
And here you can see that schedule we were talking about. The fact that their next 3 games are within the AFC East. Right here, they can really play themselves back into this divisional race. A very difficult 0-4 start, but with these next 3 divisional games, they can get right back into this race.
33-yard line, 1st and 10. Pass caught by Payton. Brought down by Harris, close to a 1st down. No timeouts. The odds are against Peyton Manning. 2nd down and 1. Place the ball at the 43. Outside, and that is caught, but caught out of bounds. Bob must not have had possession for Jerome Payton. Colts next week will be in Seattle.
and then New England, a rematch of this game. And then they will go out of the division for a while, finishing up in a little bit of a stretch there with 4 out of 5 back in the division. But they will get a break from this tough AFC East.
3rd down and 1 outside the 42. James again got a block. It's one also from Harrison downfield and wisely runs to the sideline. Operating with no timeouts, he picks up 10. Time law ushered him out of bounds. So now we're down to 1:02. 62 seconds remaining for Manning and the Colts, who are coming off the high of a come-from-behind 4th quarter win at Buffalo last week, and New England coming off a mile-high win at Denver against the Broncos. 47-yard line of the Patriots. Colts 1st down and 10. Quick slant caught by Harrison. Just out of bounds by Law. They got the coverage from Katzenmoyer and Wiggum, being at 21, and he outraced the linebacker Katzenmoyer.
And we talked about the scenario of Indianapolis losing this game and the ramifications from that standpoint, but a quick touchdown, an onside kick, and a field goal. They have one of the best in the business in the clutch situations.
So they have moved with no timeouts all the way to the 26. Manning to Harrison, drilled by Malloy. Gain of 7 on the play. Inside the 20. Spike it.
Catch over.
2nd down and 3, so 3rd and 3 coming up with 45 seconds to play.
A lot of times in these 2-minute situations, you get a little bit complacent. Even though you have to score twice, the defense will sit there and be a little bit complacent, let them come down the field a little bit too quickly. They played so much better the last 2 situations. They were in the hurry up. Now, the sense that, hey, the game is over with, but with the weapons that Indianapolis has, I don't think you're ever safe.
On the 20, 3rd down and 3. Here comes the rush. Manning from the pocket, flushed, and Harrison, I think, is shy of a 1st down. Let's see where the spot is. He did get out of bounds, stopping the clock at 41 seconds. And they'll have to bring the chains, I assume, from the far side. Yes, they will. They'll bring them across the field to get a more accurate measurement. We've had some interesting things happen in this game. A fake field goal by New England. And the snap came to holder Lee Johnson. He threw to Eric Bjornsson on 4th down, and they got a 1st down, and they eventually went in on a touchdown pass from Drew Bledsoe. And then just before halftime, with literally no time remaining on the clock, Michael Bishop came in with 5 receivers and hoisted a Hail Mary pass that was caught on a jump ball in the end zone by Tony Simmons. And was short by just that much of a 1st down. Bledsoe has thrown 2 touchdowns today. Here's the fake we were talking about. The 16-year veteran Lee Johnson hits the wide-open Bjornsson. And then, as time was winding out, 0 is on the clock. This is what Michael Bishop, in his first career NFL pass, was throwing into. And the jump ball caught by Tony Simmons.
Tony Simmons had put them in position to do that Hail Mary with a very heads-up play on special teams.
Well, the Patriots up on top by 11. It's a 34-yard try by Vanderjagt. He kicked the game winner for the Colts last week in Buffalo. And he just gets it inside the upright. It's 3rd of the day. The Canadian-born Vanderjagt, who played 3 years in the Canadian Football League and won 2 Grey Cups. So the Colts had to get 3 somewhere along the line. The problem now is New England, who has gotten a great performance today from Drew Bledsoe, and the defense orchestrated by Coach Bill Belichick. The Patriots will get it back, barring a turnover, with the Colts not able to stop the clock. New England came in after a nice win last week in Denver. And they trailed in this one, and they come up on time with 14 unanswered points at one time over the Colts until that field goal right there. Bledsoe has played well for his 2nd consecutive week. 6 touchdown passes in 2 weeks for Drew Bledsoe.
And you can really see that offensive line really starting to come together as a unit. They're giving him the time to stand in the pocket, get his feet set, throw the ball. His receivers, we talked about Troy Brown and Terry Glenn kind of not being involved in the offense until the second half. But when they give him the time, he's going to be able to move this football team very effectively. And I think he took a lot of bad press early in the season, and I think it was a lot of things that were going on. There's a lot of transition with the new coordinator and a lot of different things going on, but Drew Bledsoe shouldered a lot of that responsibility, as all the great quarterbacks will do.
Kite will kick it off and obviously set up now in a onside situation. Chip shot caught by Bjorn from the ex-Dallas Cowboy, falling to a knee at the Colt 46-yard line. So now they sit on the clock, and Colts unable to stop the clock. The Colts will drop to 3-2. The Patriots have won 2 consecutive games. They up their record to 2-4. Miami won today, and the one-time undefeated Jets lose to Pittsburgh, and the Steelers have won 2 consecutive games. Jacksonville last week, the Jets a victim today in the Meadowlands.
And when you look at this division from top to bottom, I really feel it is the strongest division in the NFL right now. I think a lot of people talked about the AFC Central with Tennessee and Jacksonville and Baltimore, but when you look at that division with New England at 2-4 is the team at the bottom, and the Jets at 4-1, there's really not a lot of difference between the way these football teams are playing right now. Any team, and it's the old adage, any one of those teams can beat any one of the other on any given Sunday.
Well, after this game concludes here in Foxborough, we'll send most of you to the Oakland Raiders against the San Francisco 49ers. Their quarterback, Jeff Garcia, has been hot. They won last week against Arizona. The Niners did. Also Denver, San Diego, Carolina, and Seattle will be an interesting game. The Carolina offensive coordinator, 32-year-old Bill Musgrave, resigning this week. So now veteran coach Richard Williamson takes over the play calling for George Seifert in Carolina. And Mike Holmgren takes his Seattle ball club into the Carolinas today.
Mike Ditka relating that story on the NFL Today, the fact that one play, that 4th-and-1 play at Carolina-Dallas last week, Bill Musgrave deciding to resign his position over that one play.
So the Patriots come up with their second consecutive win. Peyton Manning, 3 interceptions in the final 10.5 minutes. Bill Belichick, in his first year as the coach of the New England Patriots, got his young second-year quarterback Michael Bishop to throw a Hail Mary touchdown pass, which tied the game at 10 at halftime and really swung the momentum of this game.
It really did. Those last few seconds of the first half, the fact that with Indianapolis in the red zone with an opportunity to go to 14-3 and then finding themselves walking in the tunnel at halftime at 10-10, unbelievable.
You can watch your opinion of today's game with the WCN Post-Game Show on 104.1 FM. Your calls from the Bill Belichick.
We'll be back after this. The New England Patriots have beaten the Indianapolis Colts 24-16 on the arm of Drew Bledsoe.
Thank you for watching this presentation of the National Football League on CBS Sports, home of Super Bowl 35.